Ladies and gentlemen, happy weekend and welcome to the
Mm,
PUBG Continental series organized by PUBG Corporation, presented by Geek Events and supported by K&K Revolution and Cause
hmm
Effect. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sir Cloud. I'm joined at the desk together with my buddy here, Yolo Lee.
really good, really definitely really great to be here to be casting alongside with you, Sir Cloud. It has been a long time coming, and finally, what better way to cast together for the first time on such a grand stage like the PUBG Continental Series 3.
Yeah, indeed, it's such a pleasure. It's been a long time, and now we're gonna play. We're gonna pay
Mm.
our dues definitely. So it's gonna be an exciting day as well, though. 4 maps to be played today.
Four big maps. I mean, not really four. We have four big matches today and two maps on it, both being Erangel and Morama. But of course, before we get to that a little bit, Sir Cloud, let's talk a little bit about the teams that we've been seeing here for the PC3, right? So this is, of course, as you guys notice as well, this will be the schedule, and this is actually the second weekend that we're going to be seeing for the PC3 for APAC. And of course, if you guys have been supporting all your big fans from the Asia and North America side, they had their games last night. I had a really great time watching some of the games, but tonight we're going to be watching for APACs.
Yes, it's gonna be all the APAC teams here today.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna be super exciting as well. And of course, we do know that there are teams that are sort of like having a comfortable lead on top, but nevertheless, we are just
Oh, yes.
halfway through our entire matches, and they still can be caught up by other teams as well. But nevertheless, well, there will be two Miramar maps today, and we do know that who really likes Miramar. And here we go, the point system.
I mean, it's really great as well. Like, let's be honest, I'm a really big fan of the current format that we have here for the PC3, mainly because like we're not gonna be seeing like any of that long PUBG formats where it's like 3 days in a row, like three we play 3 games in a Wrangle, 2 games in Marana. But for the teams that's more better on Marama, they had to work a little bit harder to catch up to those teams who plays a little bit more better on Erangel. So here we're seeing like a bit of like those split maps here, very even out between the four matches here. So I'm a big fan. So it's more easier to consolidate or delegate the points here between both of these teams here.
Yep, and of course the point system, we already know it, but this is
Mm-hmm.
just to remind everyone what the teams are going for. The moolah here,
Oh
200,000
yes.
USD. Of course, plus some bonuses here, 12.5% of in-game sales and additional 12.5% of sales will be distributed equally amongst the participants. But man, 200,000 USD, with of course the first place will receive
Mm-hmm.
80,000 USD. Man, that's a lot of money.
That's a lot, and of course, an additional with 12.5% of the in-game sales. So guys, if you do not just want to support your favorite teams, you can still support the event by getting and buying some of that in-game stuff and get yourself some amazing, fabulous in-game skins. But anyway, fun with all the format out of the way, Sir Cloud. Let's talk a little bit about what we have witnessed, right? For especially this is the second weekend of the PC3 here. So we had a total of 24 games for all these teams to be playing, for these 16 teams to be playing. And we already witnessed the 8 games that was happening last weekend, which was of course casted by Player of the J and Contra. Thank you guys so much for such an amazing cast. And we saw some really great developments here. I mean, sure, we saw some returning teams, especially from the past, from Charity Showdown all the way to PC1 and PC2. We also saw some new teams who was actually debuting their first time in the PC3 here. Was really great. But of course, if we're talking about a little bit of some realistic points here, I don't think they're going to be able to get that far here.
Yep, but just to remind everyone as well, this is the points and the leaderboard. So first place, LG Divide, 91 points. Second place, Buriram
Ooh.
United Esports, 62 points. Quite a gap here. Third place, Fury, 59 points. Fourth place, Cerberus Esports, 59 points. Fifth place, Magic Esports, 55 points. Sixth place, Sharper Esports, 51 points. Seventh place, Angel Alliance, 44 points. Eighth place, Division X Gaming, 44 points.
And then followed we have BAE or Battle Arena Elites with 43 points in total, followed by Victim Rise with 41. Same goes with Hydra Gaming. From the Future is going to be 36. Same goes with Day Trade Gaming, Team Ferox, Purple Moon Esports, and Unicorn Cyber Danang will be your bottom three. But now looking at the total leaderboard here, now we can have like a a quick rundown for our viewers who actually missed out on some of the games that was happening last weekend. So, but before I talk about that, let's talk about, of course, our top 5 damage players here coming from all of these amazing players.
Yep. And of course, we have Haisaki, 3,121 damage. Ronan coming in at second place from Fury, 2,746. Kim Siva,
Ooh,
2,488. Six Sacks, 2,433. And God Mao, 2,413. Man, that's quite a gap as well from Haisaki and Ronan.
I mean, definitely for sure. And like, if you also look at just hearing the names of these teams itself, like if anyone has been following from ever since from the charity showdown for the PS from PCS, you can definitely recognize where these teams are coming. These are by far the top teams here. These are the team. These are the player favorites. They are the one we know and love and respect, and of course has the highest potential of actually taking the championship spots. But if we're going with the current data analysis that we had from the total leaderboard, then of course LG Divine here has the highest potential because they're literally not just in the lead, but they have such a huge gap between the first place and the second place here by 30 points.
Yeah, absolutely. They are a little bit of a walking away. I wouldn't say running away from it yet. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, just to show everyone as well, the top 5 killers here. Tonke together with his buddies there at the top 5 spot. So now putting aside all the stats, man, I can't wait for the game today. Will LG Divine continue to be consistent? If we look at the stats, right, if they get a chicken dinner, they get the chicken dinner all the way. If not, they kind of bow out fairly early with, there's only one game with a decent number of kills, but other than that, not really. But that's good enough. You get like, what, 5 chicken dinners so far from them? Let me see, just going through my stats here. Yeah, 5 chicken dinners, placing them on top. Man, this is the team to beat for now.
I mean, LG Divine has, like, initially, if I have to say for myself as well, they have, initially, before you saw the total leaderboard as well, and you just see from past achievement coming out from them as well, they were actually a very inconsistent team because, like, although they literally were bouncing back and forth. They were previously, if I'm not mistaken, they were like 11th place, then they jump all the way to 5th place, then they jump all the way back to 13. I'm like, yo, that's like a little bit of an inconsistency coming for the team. But after witnessing from last weekend and their play style, there's still some inconsistency here for some of their gameplays. Like, let's be honest, sure, if we're talking about Marama, they're the king of Marama by far because they have literally 100% win rate on Marama. All 4 maps on Marama for day 1 and day 2, they did not drop the game at all. They actually gave their chicken dinners and they got a whopping win of a couple of 8 to 9 kills here compared to Erangel. However, they only got that 1 chicken dinner out of the 4 maps, and then the rest they actually fought. Not to say, I wouldn't say a poor performance, but it's just more like they got out of position or just got outgunned in that kind of scenario. So sure, I can agree that in day number 1 for Miramar, they were very lucky with the circle shifting. But in day number 2, they started fragging, they started positioning, they started hunting down players. They're saying like, hey, this is my map, this is my area, and I'll start going for it. They did the same for Erangel for map number 3, getting their chicken dinner, making their debut for day number 2, 3 wins in a row. But sadly for match number 4, they couldn't get it that far.
Yeah, and interestingly as well, they are not like this. They're not like a super high fragging team. Their frags are just okay. But nevertheless, ladies and gentlemen, we will be jumping to our first game for today. This is Erangel. This will be our battleground here. Yoroli, let's go.
Really excited as well. The fly path is also pretty neutral for a majority of the team, for all our 16 teams here. So they're definitely going to be able to get to wherever they like and prefer here. But look at the ranking from Erangel. Like, I'm not even kidding. Previously, LG Divine was previously in 11th place, but after achieving that chicken dinner, they flew all the way back to 4. Then of course they dropped to 6th place after dropping that match number 4. Fury and Bureau here has always been very consistent here, going back and forth with the scores here. So we're definitely going to be seeing quite the amount of competition between our top 3 of the rank here for Erangel.
Yep. Considering that we will be playing 2 Erangel maps as the start, well, this could boost Furies. If they could like get maybe really good placement, 2 chicken dinners, they would at least land themselves on the second place. To catch that first place so far, it's still a little bit of a gap for them. Need a couple more weekends, but nevertheless, if you can jump from like your current spot of fourth place for Fury up to second place, just tailing behind the leaderboards, LG Divine Esports, it will be great news for it. It will give them a lot of motivational boosts.
I mean, oh, definitely it's going to be giving them a huge ton of boost as well. But anyway, we're seeing Magic Esports trying to run down one of the players, but thankfully he has the car. His team is there to back him up, and he's trying to run for his life. But okay, but either way, speaking of that car chase, that Tom and Jerry chase, now we're seeing the existence of the circle, which is going towards the west side here. And this is, I believe, this is actually the third time of out of the 4 maps of Erangel that we've seen last weekend, that the majority of the circle has always been shifting towards the western side.
It good. It's still good news that it's on the western side. Imagine if the circle actually shifts down south, down to military base. That will be the most epic car race that you would see. Whether they will take the car route through the bridges or they will take the water route, it's up to them. But nevertheless, there will be a lot of choking points that will be very interesting for us to observe by that time and expect a lot of action as the players actually go down. But well, for now, it's still fairly okay if it moves towards the western side of the map. It does force most teams to actually go towards there, but I do see that half of the teams that are actually on the circle at this point. So I would say that maybe we'll wait till the 4th or 5th circle onwards before we see lots of action.
Yeah, I mean, definitely for sure. And of course, on rotation wise, Erangel is just one of those maps where you can actually play around with the edges here. And that's actually pretty commonly seen coming from our players from Buriram and Fury here. And speaking of Fury, we're currently witnessing some of Fury's play, and now we're shifting towards Angel Alliance. And by the way, just want to let you know, Angel Alliance is actually our sole Philippines teams here. And compared to our usual sister here, which is Archangel Predators. Well, actually, from what I heard, that actually Mad Dog, one of the players from Angel Alliance, was previously or formerly the captain for Archangel Predator at one point here. So, and Angel Alliance by far during the weekend has been showing a phenomenal performance by far when it comes down to fragging.
Oh, absolutely. They are always the ones to look out for, definitely, in terms of fragging. And it's going to be super interesting to see. And of course, another sole representative from a single country is, of course, from Beta Arena Elite, representing Malaysia. And
yes.
Australia having 2 teams, Indonesia having 2, and of course, Thailand and Vietnam having the most with 5 teams each. So these are the distribution for these teams right here. And interestingly, everyone landed safely. Even when we first saw just now, there would probably be almost a car running over somebody, but it didn't happen. So everyone 64 is still alive this round.
Oh man, that would be a really great thing to see. Like just seeing players just running over other players and just such a feel here. It's just really hard to see. But anyway, here we're currently looking at Sharper Esports here. And if any of you guys know this Thailand team here, they were actually formerly known as Golden Cat. But anyway, Angel Alliance, our dear friend Evil Break, is going to be trying to go for some power shots against Division X, sorry.
Oh, can he land those shots there? Those shots do clip a little bit, but then again, he does not get that knockdown. Now he needs to be careful because there are other teams actually circling in behind. Wow, we can see here, got away with murder. That's what I always call it there. With only about 30% of health left, who managed to secure himself a compound for himself.
Whew, I mean, that was a pretty great tag as well, but also well decision coming from him as well. Like, cause let's be honest, like coming from both teams, both Division X and our alliance just now, that he didn't really want to go for the breach was really a wise choice, because you do not want to try to take a risk and try to get a pot shot or even try to get a kill this early into the game, because it's still the phase 1 of the circle. You still want to get a couple of utilities. You want to try to ensure that the rest of your team is pretty much stacked or stocked up before you guys go for a more better rotation. But just look at the majority of the teams on this map. Majority of them is still in the circle, while the rest of them is still scavenging for resources outside or hasn't found a certain vehicle for the team.
Yeah, so it looks like it's going to be really, really tough, because I guess most of them landed on the main island. I don't see any teams actually dropping onto the side of Novo or military base. So it's going to be a little bit more packed. Hence, the amount of vehicles around there that will be first come, first serve, of course. So it's going to be super limited to these teams. We may expect a sharing of vehicle for some of these players as well.
I mean, definitely for sure. And just remember from the fly path as well. So a lot of them just pretty much split to wherever they want to go. So so the teams that pretty much like just dropped on the north and the eastern side, now they have to quickly find a vehicle and just get towards this western side of the circle. But remember, like I said prior before this, that Erangel is just one of those maps which you can actually play around with the edge and not necessarily have to get in the middle of the circle. So that's going to be able to benefit teams like Caveras, Buriram, and Fury a lot more, who love to go for that fragging, for that frag potential, and just like to go for those pickoffs around the edge of the circle.
But that's always the debate, right? Okay, like maybe for you, what do you think is the best? Do you prefer to play by the edge of the circle, or do you prefer to play in the middle of the circle?
In all honesty, like just looking for, especially now, just like let's just compare to the current circle that we have. Okay, not the most ideal circle, which is currently on the western side. So it's a lot of open areas, a lot of grassland, by the way. Although yes, there is some form of covers with the trees, but you do not really want to go straight into the middle, because when you get into the middle, everyone knows you're in there, and then it becomes a nade city, because everyone starts throwing nades into the houses. Then you're going to be having trouble trying to get out, because the minute you try to get out or try to find other forms of covers, you get picked out by a third-party team, literally exactly like what Division X is doing right now with the M14.
Almost got those shots connected there, but those are more like warning shots, I see. So yeah, I do agree with you that if you stay in the
Get out of
middle,
my house.
if you're a compound especially, and your opponents have like tons of utilities, tons of needs, you get naded down. And so yeah, it's going to be super interesting. But if you play by the side, you could be sandwiched by two different angles as well if everyone thinks the same. So it's kind of like a 50-50 trade-off there. I guess it really depends on really how the scenario and where are actually the primary positions, we call it.
I mean, definitely for sure. But I mean, our dear team from Malaysia here, Battle Arena Elite or BAE or BAE in this case, currently try to get towards that circle point for themselves here, because they actually drop a little too far from the circle here. So they want to try to at least get to the edge at this point, or at least try to avoid any contact. Because let's be honest, a lot of open grounds here, and they want to try to find that little crater or a ditch or a hole, pretty much where they can at least just do a quick pit stop, go scout a little bit to find out where exactly they were going to be. Previously, exactly what that team was doing before we shifted to LG Divine.
Yeah, hopefully that Bay is not salty, because we don't want them to get related to Salt Bay. But nevertheless, here we go. The circle looks like it will shift towards the southern side, and most of these teams happen to be in the middle of the circle.
Oof, man. Everyone, because like just looking at the circle itself, right? We're looking at towards Pochinki as well, and let's be honest, Pochinki is just pretty much like a city where you can actually just has enough resources or enough space to fit two teams. But now the majority of these teams, they're trying to make good use of the surrounding and those corners, those angles, to try to go for those pickups or those frags, which is going to be benefiting teams like who love to go for those frags itself, like Day Trade, Buriram. They want to try to look for those pickups, compared to like teams like BAE, who's just trying to go for those edge combat to go for those pickups instead.
Yeah, it looks like there's an aggression play here from BAE. They could start a fight here. We need to wait and see if that's going to happen. But then again, it's a fight against a half compound BAE. They have a little bit of compound. Jokesy spots out his opponent right in front of him. Is he going to take the shot there? Nope, he's just giving information back, but no shots being taken. Oh, there you go.
Ooh. Very painful coming for the rest of the team. Sophia was able to get a beautiful tag and drop as well for Haizake, and even picking a beautiful first blood for their own team. That's going to be 1 point for themselves here. And just looking at Joxy, right? Like, so yes, as you guys know as well, Joxy actually is more like, I wouldn't say left Fury. It's more like they had this swap with Flood for themselves here. Although, yes, if we're just comparing between both of the players, both Joxy and Flood, then yes, in terms of firepower and personal skill play, then yes, Flood is definitely the better player. But however, Joxy in Battle Arena Elite, I think is really great for him because of the fact that he's going to be able to flourish here, since there's less expectation and of course without any pressure at all.
Oh yeah, it also depends on how the chemistry of the team goes, right? And now we can look at this that
Mm-hmm.
Levi tosses out the nade into the house. And oh
Ooh.
my goodness, managed to evade the nade. That was so close there. And now they need to get ready here for the siege down here. Divine, JN. Looks like toss out another nade that the utility is not ended yet. And there you go. Finally getting that blue.
Ooh. Ooh, that's actually a really great pick up as well. That's gonna be a couple of points on themselves here. And now we're seeing like we just like we were discussing prior before the game ever started. Now we're seeing LG Divine Esports. They're being aggressive now. They have the momentum. They had such a great start. Now it all comes down to how well they can continue to maintain it or continue to push forward to literally solidify themselves as the coming games are going to be continuing on for the next 2 days.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. You want to start off your foot good and early today because you want to go through the day with a good momentum. And of course, this is just a halfway throughout the season. So you want to keep that momentum going as well. You still have an opportunity to actually catch up to the leaderboards at this point. And now we can see a couple of rotations happening. Probably they're prioritizing the compound instead of the open area. Fingers crossed. Well, but you're playing by the edge of this. So it's for sure that the zone will move away from you. So they're going to fingers crossed that the zone sort of shift slightly towards their side for them to make that rotation.
Anyway, we're checking out Purple Moon here. Now slowly we're rotating back towards Cabarrus Esports, who's still holding down the compound near farm here, but not too far from them. It's actually going to be BA, who's actually towards the east side of them, and Daytrade towards the west side of them as well. So their rotation, they gotta be a little bit careful, since the only way, if they really want to try to bypass both of these teams here, they had to go across off road here towards the mountains here, but that's definitely not going to be an easy climb for them, since BAE is definitely not going to be allowing them to have such a free ride without being tagged a little bit.
Oh, definitely not going to be easy at this point. Even though it looks like, yeah, it's a high ground, go for it. But the moment you go for it, you'll be gunned down by other teams. So you need to be careful here, just like what's happening right here. Ronan now with the spray goes down from Fury. Didn't manage to get a knockdown to anybody, but then again, the siege is coming in. Ronan is now in trouble. Down to 35 health, and Ronan will be knocked down.
Ronan's still trying to go for the literally got knocked down, but Flood is still alive, followed by Waikika and Mukau as well. He's trying to go for the pick for the long range, but sadly just can't find the connection he was looking for. He got the one simple tag, and Flood finally gets knocked out and slowly getting burned alive and picked off. And now with both Ronan and Flood out of the picture here, Fury is definitely in a pinch here and trying to find their way to get back into the game. They have one member, they still have two more members, but one member is actually currently knocked down.
Yeah, and only one more team member probably is going to hold on for positioning points. Going to be a tough task for him. So Fury definitely not happy about that. Furious one siege from the opponent. Immediately they go down. So they go down very quickly. They're unfortunately not able to defend their ground well. And now look at this. Another one has been knocked out. Or this is the one that's been knocked out earlier. The last member of Fury knocked down.
But however, Biram's going to be able to get a nice, beautiful gift kill for himself here. And that's actually pretty nearby from Division X. So Division actually, although yes, it did cost them half of their members to actually fully clear out Fury here, but that was still a pretty great breach coming from the side of the team here, able to pick up a majority of the members here. Leave it to Tom K to pick up all those 4K kills, man.
Ooh, and you can see here that, oh my goodness, Fury is out at 15th place, and just as we were talking about them, unfortunately they couldn't hold on to positioning points any further.
Oh man, that was such a rough way to go as well. Like just being crashed, like it's not even breach anymore. He just got crashed and run over really hard. They must be furious at this point, but either way, still going to be a really tough time for the rest of the team to really try to claw back into the game. But anyway, this is the code. Redeem this code for literally your chance to vote for the Pick 'em Up challenge for all of your favorite teams here.
That's the code. Punch it in, ladies. I am trying to. It's pronounceable. Why don't you give it a go?
Go to zone GQ.
Okay, somehow that sounds French for some reason.
But it'll be coming back to this, right? So we're seeing the current, literally the phase 4 circle here, and as usual, LG Divine. We saw them playing a little bit aggressive, trying to go for those frags. And now they're reverting back to the playstyle which they have been proven very useful to them in Miramar as they continue to go towards the center of the circle and just anchor down and lock themselves down for this. However, Buriram United Esports finding Team Ferox is currently crashing and trying to breach into their points here. But look at Buriram. Their positioning has always been trying to go for long areas, so they're able to cover multiple areas here, and that's going to be allowing them to sandwich Team Ferox from all angles, and that's probably the end for Team Ferox. However, Street Soul, he's not going to go down without a fight here, trying to hold down the line. But Team Ferox is not looking that great or healthy in this case, as Buriram, although one member is still knocked down, last man standing. He wants to try to back up his team, but then make quite an amount of noise. And we can see other team here from the Philippines, Angel Alliance, slowly rotating to see if they can come to go for the cleanup. But same goes for Day Trade. And now we're looking for another matchup between both this team very nearby to Buriram.
Oh man, I really love how Buriram, how they separated themselves, how they just support each other when the team down happens there. And now we're looking at Angel Alliance. Nan definitely knows someone is there. The shot's being fired out onto him. Does not connect though. Now he's just scouting out, sending back information to his team, just being sure where the opponents are at. Nevertheless, they are not really in the circle, so they still need to move further forward.
And now, Sally, the last man standing. For Rain from Team Ferox will fall here to the hands of Team Buriram, and our dear friend Team Ferox will not be able to try to get that placement points for themselves, and this is going to allow Buriram to slowly excel and elevate themselves to a more better position and even getting more kill scores, which is exactly what they're trying to aim for. However, Angel Alliance playing a little bit off the cliffs here, and our dear friend Evil Patrick, he had to quickly throw down all these smokes to really try to get away, because Day Trade, they're slowly rotating while also covering all their angles because a little bit of an open area. And however, Buriram finally crashes into two teams between here, picking out not just one kill but also getting rid of Division X Gaming.
Oh, it's going to be a sandwich scenario here very, very soon. We can see the knockdown, the kill feed is coming in here. And Mad Dog now trying to spot out his opponents right in front of him. Can he actually get a good sight there? Probably not. The geography isn't helping him. The terrain isn't on his side at this point. And Mad Dog now exposing himself out in the open with the information that he has, trying to move forward because they need to move forward. There's no more time. 25 more seconds on the clock before the zone closes in on them.
Ooh, gonna be a little bit close as well. He reloads back, bring up the barrel as well as he slowly charges forward. He knows he doesn't really have much time. The zone is slowly gonna be pushing in. Although yes, this zone doesn't really hurt that much, but he just wanted to give at least some information to the rest of the teams here. And now we're seeing a couple of tags, a couple of harassments or skirmishes happening all across the map here, or more majority is just at the edge of the circle. And now the circle once again shifting towards the east side here, still in the favor of LG Divine here. Man, these guys has really, like, although yes, I wouldn't say they're really lucky in some of their gameplays, but the circle shifting is just so in their favor majority of the time here.
I totally agree with you. And also the three teams on the northern side across the road, they will find it really, really difficult to actually cross over to the circle, because when there's an open road, if you are not ready, if you don't have vehicles, if you cannot create a smoke bridge, it's going to be super tough because they can gatekeep. But other teams are actually on the other side already. And this Angel Alliance Mad Dog again. He has to turn into a Mad Dog now if he needs to cross it to the other side. But Mad Dog taking damage. Ooh, good thing he didn't get the knockdown.
Oh, that was actually pretty close as well. Like, just getting tagged all the way down to 20 HP is definitely not what he was trying to look for when he's trying to go for those pick. However, SP Kim Siva was able to get a beautiful knockdown on one of the members here of Buriram. That's going to be slowing things down. However, here comes the breach, here comes the engagement. And I don't think FTF is having a fun time because literally they're being sandwiched on multiple teams all around them here. And now we're slowly shifting back to Angel Alliance as they try to go for this tag against Day Trade.
Oh, Angel Alliance, they have about a minute and a half now. They're trying to get themselves onto the other side, trying to get into the safe zone. But then again, these other teams, they are going to gatekeep them. Mad Dog now, he's going to turn to Mad Dog. But then again, Mad Dog has been knocked down, unfortunately, and he's pretty far away from his buddies.
You know, sometimes when you see a mad dog, you just gotta put him down. You know, so in this, just like this kind of scenario, they put down the mad dog. However, none has the high ground. Gonna go for a couple pieces. Gonna go for the knockdown as well. We're seeing nades happening all across the map as well. Beautiful nades happening from Purple Mood here, and they will instantly annihilate Magic Esports.
Oh, they are out now. It looks like Angel Alliance, they may find a way and opening to get in there, but they get none. Unfortunately, it's falling apart for Angel Alliance. They will be out at the 11th place.
Dude, that was absolutely insane. And what's even better was that the Angel Alliance, they thought they could try to pick out some kills off of Daytrade as BAE was actually hitting it from the backside. But what happened was they got a little bit too greedy, and Daytrade still had the cover away from BAE and still was able to focus down and melt away the remaining members of Angel Alliance. Now just coming back to the circles, we have 19 remaining. LG Divine still holding out that compound with at the edge of the circle. Same goes for BAE, and now I'm hoping to see where will be the next circle. And it instantly goes very central to the majority of this team here. Still in the favor for majority of some of them, especially Hydra Gaming, who's currently in the middle or in the thick of things here.
If only they focus on rotation, but then again, let's keep our focus on the reverse esports here. Oh, my goodness, that explosion! Beautiful indeed. And now Sharper Esports Tinoy looks like he's going to try to make himself into the safe zone though, but can he actually do it? It's going to be tough for him. This is something that he needs to go through. It is the road here, the road that will separate him from getting onto safety.
However, he instantly dug down right into the clutches of Sharper's Esports. That's going to be a very easy pickup, and the rest of the members of Kerberos here, although yes, they are the guardian of the gates of hell, but sadly they can't stand the heat of Sharper Esports with the Molotov here in the shacks. Whew, really unfortunate to see them go here, but that is still a beautiful kill pickup for Sharper Esports as they slowly will able to try to get some resources for themselves. Same goes for Purple Moon, who is literally throwing smokes after smokes because they don't really have the best of covers right now.
Yeah, they need to smoke up their vehicle so they can get into it and hopefully get into safety. And now we can see the rotation starting to happen. Some of them are taking the middle spot. Most of them are trying to get the high ground, but then again, the high ground is super explosive. Oh, Namsi have been knocked down by Mickey. Unfortunately, from afar, the tapping is coming in from Sophia as well.
Really great start. B currently 6 kills on their belt. LG, Hydra Gaming, however, instantly getting nuked away by LG Divine. Although yes, they have one member knocked down, but they ensured that at least they get an equal trade. And an equal trade in their experience is if their one member gets knocked down, they instantly nuke the rest of your members here. So. LG Divine going and absolutely crazy here, but same goes for Battle Arena Elites here in this day number 3 of the PCS.
My goodness, LG Divine, crazy. Just look at the ranking right now. They have broken the 3-digit mark in terms of the overall score. Oh my goodness, they are definitely still on the roll here. And Battle Arena Elites, they are still in this. They won't back down.
Oh man, speaking of backing down, we see our dear friend here, Purple Mood, despite not having the best of coverage, they're not backing down at all. They're saying like, hey, just come at me, bro. And Sharper Esports trying to go for the even trade. Mark Sonas managed to get one knockdown. He knows there's still 3 more members. Trying to go for the straight out through the smoke. Gets the second one as well. Last, still gonna need to find 2 more members. If he can get the other 2, then he's gonna be able to solely take down all the members by himself. But sadly, a little bit too much to ask without any cover as well. Sharper Esports will fall here, and our top 4 teams will be BAE, Purple Moon, LG Divine, and Booby Rock.
Oh, but it will be long for them because we can see that some of them they are starting to fall off here. Sophia trying to go for the he's trying to go for the flag here. He's trying to go for a sneaky flag, and now he's placed out, but then again he cannot connect his shots. Unfortunately, his position has been compromised. He will need to make a move behind now. Don't turn his back too long. There, cover fire coming in from Joxy, but then again Joxy still needs to be careful from other angles as well. They could be sandwiched from multiple angles.
And now speaking of sandwiching as well, everyone is just currently playing around the edge here. Although yes, phase 7, the blue circle is slowly enclosing and approaching, getting ready to decide where they're gonna go here. And just look at the utilities coming from BAE as well. They don't really have that much. And just look at Sophia, he only has one more smoke left, and it's literally all open area. It's flat ground here. So it literally comes down to the pickoffs. Who's going to be able to find the players first? Who's able to get to the drop as well and get even that cover they are looking for here?
Oh, he better pray that the circle actually goes towards him, because that one smoke will not help him if the circle actually shifts away. But the toss of the days there. Oh my goodness, killing spree right there. Amazing play in there. And now Joki putting a lot of pressure on his opponent. But then again, Battle Arena Elite, and they have the high ground. They have the circle. They have everything right now to actually get this chicken dinner so far. And they have all 4 team members as well.
Yo, LG Divine is on a roll here. They have so many kills in this very first game of day number 3 here on a map which they weren't really comfortable with compared to Marama. However, BAE, they have the high ground. They're going to go for the flanks. And Sophia followed by Joxy, they're just going to go for the pickoffs one by one. And last man standing of LG Divine, he had to try to hold on the line between this 1v4 before BAE calls the winner chicken dinner. Sophia approaches forward. He finds him and gets the shot, and BAE will be taking game number 1. Winner, chicken dinner. These are your team from Malaysia as they take a beautiful kill and even shut down the crowning of King of Marama, LG Divine.
My goodness, great rotation. They picked the high ground spot, and just look at how they defended their high ground as well. They went for the flank, so it was amazing play indeed from BAE. Teamwork, they maintain all 4 of their team members so they can have maximum coverage of their high ground. And what else can I say? It was pretty much flawless play for them.
It was really great as well, and what's even better at the fact that we saw LG Divine slowly breaking out of the shell from last weekend, which their playstyle has always been just getting to the middle, playing it safe, holding down, don't look for too many frags. And then now in this game, like literally in the very beginning, although yes, initially it was actually FTF who actually crashed into their building and they went for a killing spree there, but they started going for more frags. They got the momentum. They kept looking for more kills. And even towards the very end, they slowly reverted back to what they were actually really great at, and that was playing for the late game here. However, BAE, going with the 200 IQ play, saw that the fact that, all right, we know where LG Divine is. We know there's no way they can actually push up on an open field without any utilities as well. They capitalized the positioning and the like you said as well, Sir Cloud, the rotation coming up for Sophia really paid off, knocking down 2 members of LG Divine.
Yeah, just look at Sophia's positioning. Right? All he needs to do is just be at the high ground, look left, look right, just get the information where the opponents are at, and just shoot them. They even at some point tried to go for the flank. It was a mini flank. They didn't go for the all-out flank because they know at the end of the day, if they leave that high ground position, they may give that prime position away to other teams who may come in from other angles and take that away from them. So they know that, okay, I just go for a little bit of flank just to give that warning shot to say, hey, we have the high ground, you guys don't come up there. And he just turns back. He doesn't need to get that knockdown. That's all he needs to do, just to keep his opponents away from the high ground. That's it. They are king of the hill.
Oh yeah, definitely, like you said as well. You couldn't even say it better myself. Seriously, king of the hill, BAE, holding down the line with the positioning as well. And just like, seriously, Joxy was also going on a killing spree in that gameplay as well. But this is the match leaderboard. And of course, BAE, one of the middle teams here. Like, we can literally break it down to our top three teams, the middle group of the teams, and then we have our bottom 3. However, BAE from the middle section of the group here finally stepped up in day number 3 here, racking up a total of 11 kills here, and even getting that chicken dinner. And that's going to be amplifying their position, their score later on. However, LG Divine, they're still not just in the lead, but they even added more points to themselves, because although they didn't really broke the record. They pretty much hit the very same kill score, which was 14 kills made by Buriram in day number 1. That is the current record here with the highest kill in Erangel here. So they pretty much hit the same bar here. But the fact that they actually hit 14 kills and got second place, that's even more points, and that's still gonna elevate LG Divine, give them a total of 111 points here, totaling up here for the leaderboard.
Oh man, that is a huge gap here right now from LG Divine. Oh, man, 111, 73. Trying to do the math here. My math teacher would be very ashamed of me because I can't do it that fast. But nevertheless, we can just look at 3 digits and 2 digits. Good enough for the story to tell us they are running away with this. At least first game, amazing play from them. Kings of
It
Miramar, maybe Kings of Iraq today.
Ooh, that you are not wrong so far. I mean, we already saw like the Kings of Erangel was actually Buriram because of their consistency on that map, including for Mirama as well. But if we're just talking about Divine, like LG Divine Esport, however, they've been, like you said, on a roll, on a killing spree. They're doing absolutely amazing here. And what's even better is that the fact that, like, I did the math, right? On average, each team, if they really want to, like, either try to elevate their points or at least try to maintain their current spot, they need to at least get a total average score per match, at least 8 to 10 points. However, Divine, LG Divine, they're like either getting 10 or more. And what's even better, like if we don't calculate like Circle, if we don't calculate today's points or like or last week day 2, like just day 1 alone, the fact that they win all of Marama and just like didn't win anything on the Erangel, they still had enough points to cover the Erangel side. So I'm like, yo, this is an upgrade for LG Divine. From an inconsistent team from PC1 and PC2, now in PC3, they're on a roll. They're playing their best. They're doing their very best because they want to take it all here.
Yeah, absolutely. They will want to recover from the previous series as well. And now we do know that who's the top student in the math class. So thank you, top student. He's going to do the math after this. I'm like, okay, now 111 minus 73. I can't count anymore. Yololi will do the math after this. Yeah, he's way better than me in terms of doing the math. But nevertheless, LG Divine, man, my goodness. How are these teams really going to stop them? Yes, you managed to stop them from getting that chicken dinner in Erangel, but what did they do? They still maintain consistent with the amount of kills. They got in a position where they can farm them, and they still managed to have a really 1 point gap between them and BAE in that previous round. So
Yeah.
I would say again, these guys, I don't know, they need to find a formula to actually beat them.
No, it's very simple. All 15 teams just have to group up and be like, yo, we're just gonna hunt LG Divine. Like, just someone just put in y'all chat or like just personally PM me or WhatsApp me like, where are these guys? Where did they drop? And then everyone just consolidate in that one whole area, pick them off, and then after that they go their separate ways, go back to normal, reset, and then they go back to the game.
If only they can pick them off in that way. If not, it'll be like, yeah, free kills coming to me because they have shown that they can be top fraggers as well. So gotta be careful there.
I mean, definitely for sure. Like, although we have it's very rare to see LG Divine in a situation where they are pressured from multiple teams at once from various angles. We saw that during day number 2 for map number 4 for Erangel, which literally led to their early downfall here. And I think a lot of the teams was pretty much very happy about it because they're like, all right, this is our chance to actually try to rack up the scores. But with their winnings in Marama, they still can make up for it. So now, how I can only see this where the other teams can really catch up to LG Divine is that the LG, if they really want to capture the LG Divine, especially the top 3 teams here, the second, third, and fourth teams here in this match leaderboard, they have to literally pick them off as early as possible. Like, do not give them a chance to get frags or placement points and just shut them down as fast as possible.
And there's a thing called the caster's curse, right? The more you talk about the team as a caster, the more they may. I'm just saying, caster's curse. Okay, we'll park that aside when that's gonna happen. I'll just keep that aside. Not the fans to go like, no, stop talking about our team. No, stop it. We don't want you to mention our team. Mention someone else.
Mm-hmm. Although, yes, it was like, okay, let's speak of other teams as well. Like before, it was really unfortunate to see that Fury actually dropping a little bit early because we saw Vision Rise, who actually had a beautiful breach. I was a little bit skeptical because I saw Ronan, who was actually in position to go for the gun down. But what happened? Actually, he got gunned down first. He got caught off guard. He got sprayed down. That was a beautiful spray coming in from Vision Strikes, by the way. Sorry, Vision Rise, by the way. And then they after that, like literally just a three-man party. They just went and gunned down the rest of Fury here. They went for Ronan. They literally nade out or burn out Flood in the house. And Inside, who was actually out the house here, because you must understand that Buri Ram and Fury, they have this play style, especially on the map of Wrangle, where they like to go for this solo positioning, where they are, which when I mean by solo positioning, I meant by it allows them to cover more ground, more area, allows it to not only allow them to flank from another angle, but also give that information to the rest of the team. However, it backfired for them when two of the members actually fell in the compound, and the two members inside and one other members of Fury who was actually outside of away from the compound had to fight back in without any cover.
Yeah, that's correct though. But holding on to compounds is also pretty risky, as we saw earlier. There are teams that are very aggressive when it comes to taking up compounds. They just run at compounds, drive through it, tossing out the nades. One of it is like what we saw earlier. I believe we saw Fury did a couple of moves like that as well, and we did see Buriram as well doing a couple of moves like that. So where does this? Okay, let's talk about the teams that are on the lower half of the board, right? Like Unicorn.
The bottom three.
Yeah, the bottom three, right? Like teams like Unicorn, teams like Team Ferox, for example. How are they going to recover from this? Because we can see that Unicorn 8 points, 16 place, 15 place, 33 points. The gap is just 20 each points, their gap. Nevertheless, ladies and gentlemen, here we are, our top 5 damage dealers from this map.
I mean, it's really great to see all them very familiar faces, but most importantly, now we have an addition team here. One of the we were both just talking about the bottom 3 here, and one of the bottom 3 here, Purple Mood here, finally hitting not just the 5th place or 3rd, they hit 2nd in the top 5 damage in that game, and that's gonna be Rocky Gyms. Like, yes, realistically, like if not just going by the stats, and even from not just going by the stats and also what we witnessed from last weekend, Purple Moon really stepped up today. Like Purple Moon, yeah, the rest of the team, Unicorn, however, Unicorn still trying to find their place in this game as well. Purple Moon, they really stepped up here. It's really great to see them showing some even more firepower here. Because remember, Unicorn and Purple Moon are one of the new teams that is actually joining here for PC3. This is pretty much their debut here. But just looking from a realistic point of view and also just by analysis itself or data, they will not be able to really catch up to at least one of the top 5 spots here, no matter what they do here. Unless they have been going on multiple killing spree, like 15 kills around, getting chicken dinners in a row, then yes, yes, of all the impossible feats, they will be able to catch up for sure. But realistic wise, I don't think they're never going to be able to catch up. However, they can still at least try to apply, if they continue with this playstyle like what Purple Moon was doing in this first game, they can apply some pressure to the middle teams, to the teams who's actually in the middle parts of the bracket here or the leaderboard.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Realistically, it's super tough for them to catch up with the top teams at this point. But nevertheless, this is what I always say: do it for the fans. Do it for the fans. So far, even from that previous round, from last week as well, that last game of last week, they got 2nd place, and in the first Irango today, they got 4th place with 9 kills. So far, it seems to be like, okay, have they found their rhythm? Have they found their momentum already? At least if they can continuously have this sort of momentum towards the second half of the season, maybe who knows? They could be the breakthrough team. So I wouldn't write them
That's
off
true.
too much
True.
yet from getting to the top. So if they can continue on, ladies and gentlemen. But nevertheless, can they continue on? Let round number 2 today tell the story. This is again Irangel, and let's go.
Dude, honestly, Sir Cloud, before we start this game, I know this is a little bit unprofessional, but I love how you roll the R. Like, Rangle. I'm like, woo! Oh, Sir Cloud. feeling a little bit weird just now.
It's all right. We all have our interests.
Oh, man.
And
Don't put me out there like
I'm
that.
just saying Yololi has an interest for rolling tongues.
Oh, man. I mean, it sounds amazing the way you did it. But coming back to the game here, just look at the ranking here. Just look at LG Divine in this case here. They went from day 1, they were from 11th place. Day 2, they were in 6th place. And then finally, they ended the day with 4th. And now look at where they are. They are currently in 2nd place. In Marama, they're the top. They're the top in the ranking for Marama. Now in Erangel, they're in top number 2 here. That is a feat that is so hard to catch up here.
Yeah, totally agree. Erangel now catching up, and only 4 points different than the top spot, being the unofficial king of Erangel, we call it, at least from a leaderboard point standpoint. But different circle this time. Goes out to Starber. I'm liking this. I always like a challenging circle for our players.
Honestly, I feel so bad for Dage, like just FTF in particular, like from the winners here, because like they have the tendency to always try to drop in military base. But just looking at the past few matches, a majority of the maps has always been away from military base, except that one game in day number 2 here. So I think they wanted to take a gamble where like, okay, we can drop in military base. There's not that many team as well. The flight path was very ideal for a lot of them as well, so they won't be dropping towards military base. So they're hoping to capitalize that and just gamble on the fact that the circle will rotate or shift down south here. But however, it didn't really work out for them, and now it shifted towards the very north part here, going towards Stalber and Komeski here.
Oh, but then again, not good news here for 2-1s. Unfortunately, I don't think he's anywhere near his buddies though, so he could probably be down there. But maybe the cavalry could arrive just in time. We'll need to wait and see there. Can he actually make it? Oh my goodness. I'm holding my breath now.
18 seconds.
Yololi.
Oh, no, he's fine. He's fine. Buggies for the win, Buggies with buddies.
Oh, where did that shot come from? I mean, like, all of a sudden we saw him actually lying down and in an open area. Even to go and revive him is a risky move there.
That is very true. You're not wrong there. But then again, remember, this is still phase 1 of the circles here. So no one really wants to try to reveal their location just yet, or even try to go for this breach, unless you totally understand the fact that, like, okay, I'm in Pochinki, I'm nearby these 2 other teams. I have no choice but to combat here and try to overtake this side and defend it for myself. But if you're not in that situation, you don't really necessarily have to go for kills or be too greedy about it. You can just still get those resources, get those utilities for yourself, and then by the time when we hit towards the middle stage of the game, or at least phase 4 of the circle, that's when we'll be seeing skirmishes. That's when we'll see all the main fraggers, all the couple of fraggers favorite from our teams here like Buriram, and even now currently LG Divine, to go for those pickoffs.
Yep. So everyone's going to play this fairly safely for now. And this is a stat here from our Winner Chicken Dinner winners today from game number 1, Battle Arena Elites. Getting number 3 at this point in the overall standings with a total points of 64 points and total kills 38 kills, total damage 9,220. And of course, what Winner Chicken Dinner so far, they have been fairly okay. Although they didn't get the chicken dinner, but in terms of standings, they are fairly okay. They don't go down too soon, too often.
I mean, for sure. And just look at right now, we can see LG Divine still reverting back to what they like to play. That play style, which is just getting to the center of the circle, finding a compound, and just holding out until the late game where they can really shine and go for those pickoffs. BAE, however, this time they're still. Because like I said, this is still phase 1, so there will be no breaching here. We're going to be seeing a couple of passive plays coming from some of these teams here. But however, we see our dear friend SPs here, Sharper Esports, they find their target and they notice our dear friend Vision Rise. Victim Rise. He's actually alone.
Oh yeah, somehow he's alone though, so not too sure where his buddies are. I think they just joined him in, just looking at the minimap, they just joined in the compound. So looking at Honke, one of our top fraggers here, he is still all alone though. He's trying to do some scouting work here, but okay, in an open area where, oh no, you better be careful that if it's been spotted out by the other team, he may be taken out.
I was speaking of taking out, Ram instantly finds need to go for the spray now. I'm going to go for a couple of attacks. Sadly, not going to be able to do much damage. However, happening on the other side of the map, we see Victim Rise, GenForce able to knock down and even pick up a kill for the team here. And now majority of this team, we see a massive rotation going towards the northern side, and Rabbit coming from Hydro Gaming instantly gets a drop on IQ 500 from Division X. Now the rest of the team here, his members and teammates currently rushing them in. Was it ideal? I guess it was, because Long Fergus was having so full faith in Long K to pick up the kill despite sacrificing his own teammates' life.
It is worth it because it's only a knockdown. So the moment, like let's say Rabbit, he finished using his bullets onto one person, he needs to reload, then immediately the other person can follow up, and there you go. Long K finishing off Rabbit. It is always worth it. If you can have like 2 or 3 people, as long as you have information that there's only one person, just go for it. You can definitely win the fight, no doubt.
Ooh, one of the members of Hydro Gaming, his Rabbit Sally will fell there, will die as well. But the rest of the members of Hydro Gaming currently re-rotated, currently getting ready to bury the Division X Gaming for picking off their friends so dangerously, so horrendously as well. They want that revenge kill for themselves.
Yeah, they definitely want that revenge, but now they don't have the numbers. That's the thing. So better think twice if they want to do that. It is the first phase of the circle though, and if anyone bows out this early, it's going to be 0 points. But unfortunately, looking at this 2-1, Robo unfortunately will be taken out by Neil. What's happening here? Oh my goodness, looks like it's not going to be a good day for them.
Man, it's just really unfortunate here. That's the thing, right? Because seeing the circle like already being placed on the very north, and I mean like super north here of Stalbar and Severny, right? Every team that actually dropped towards the southern part is going to be having massive rotations here, and massive rotations literally will lead to being picked up by a majority of the team. Same goes for Ajin Bots here, who was on the buggy and instantly lost one of the wheels and instantly gets sniped and picked up by Purple Mood here. That's going to be one beautiful gift for their team here. And now our dear friend Angel Alliance will be playing this game with 1 member short here. It's still doable. 3 members is still doable, but losing 1 member is quite the blow here, especially since there is still 16 teams still alive in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. It is doable though, but yeah, it's going to be tough. The odds is against them. But nevertheless, there wasn't much they can do though. I mean, yeah, buggy, open top. If you get shot, it's easy to be taken down. And that's exactly what happened. And I think it was the tires that got busted first. That's why he kind of like skidded for a little bit. And then the opponents just took advantage of that. And 1 kill point for them.
Oh, it was really unfortunate as well. Like I'm pretty sure Ajin Bots was saying like, hit me, don't hit the wheel, and hit the back wheel. This is one of the wheels which you do not want it to lose at all, and instantly just like spin like crazy. But now once again the circle, the phase 2 circle will be shifted towards the central plane here, surrounding Stalber, Vosnaya as well. Some of the team, especially Purple Moon, having a really great spot, so they don't really have to move too much. They were even able to take out that 1 kill, so I think currently they're doing really great. Battle Arena at least, however, currently rotating towards the circle once again. They're also in a pretty decent spot, but surrounding them towards the west side or northwest side here is surrounded by cliffs and mountains here. So their vehicle is going to be taking quite a bit to climb up that cliff, so they have to be really careful, especially one of the teams who's currently on their east side.
And I do see that Fury, they are somewhat at the peak of Starboy. I believe they have sent one team member on top, maybe just to scout out and to be sure that the peak of Starboy is clear. And if they can get that peak, it's going to be good for them. But one thing about Starboy is that at the peak, there's a lot of flat ground, meaning that the coverage area is just too much, sometimes for 4 people to handle. And opponents can actually come in from any opening. If they can find an opening, they can still come in, and you can have at least 2 teams holding on to the top spot at the peak. So that's why we can see that why BAE they don't go straight up. It's because that if you're up on top, it doesn't mean that it's going to be your fortress. You could still be taken. Yeah, it doesn't mean that there's an advantage for you because everyone would want that top, and they could still find an opening to come in because the coverage area is just too big.
Yeah, it's just too much, and there's not really much covers either as well. I mean, you have Mother Nature, but sometimes Mother Nature doesn't really answer your call, so not really much cover for them, so they're going to be safely inside the compound. However, our dear friend Purple Mood currently has his, I think, boss sense here. He's picking up that sixth sense, and he noticed that he has some unwelcome guests underneath his house here. That's going to be Unicorn team here, as now we're looking between the bottom 2 teams, combat between them. Sadly, I think it was actually Boston Sense. He's actually all alone. It's going to be a 1v4 here in the side here of Komeshiki here. Really concerned how he's going to be able to do it. He has the barrel though, but that's going to be a lot of nades that's going to be thrown on top of him. Not sure whether they know that he's actually in this house. So that's pretty much why we see no grenades going off just yet. They're actually taking this nice and easy, going for the steps. Boss says got to be careful. He's forcing him at the staircase. But same goes with Unicorn as well. Now here comes the nades. Now here comes the spray down. And oh, what a beautiful spray coming in from the flank from the other house on the 2nd floor. That's going to be one nice kill for Unicorn here. Another kill for themselves here. And Purple Mood will lose 1 member.
Unfortunately, not going to get away from that. The moment they hear a single footstep, that's it. The entire squad, they don't need the entire squad. They just send 2, and that's good enough, and there you go. He'll be taken out. Not too sure what he was doing there alone, though, earlier, and I don't think that place is really that valuable because you're playing by the edge of the circle. But nevertheless, I'm not too sure what was the strategy there for them.
Well, honestly, I think he just wanted to just hold on the fort, just give a little bit more information to the rest of the team, because I think they were just trying to hope for the best of the fight, that the circle will actually not go too far from them. But then it literally bit. He had the short end of the stick here, and he got punished really hard. However, speaking of punishing, we saw on the map itself that LG Divines actually getting picked off, or at least being harassed by Buriram as they're slowly rotating back into the circle here.
Yes, so it looks like the rotation again has begun. But then again, from the future, looks like they're going to do a little bit of a gatekeeping there. But the gunfire is starting to happen. But can they actually get the knockdown to somebody? Beast has been taken out by... Oh, there you go. Beast is out of this round.
Oh man, that was really unfortunate there. We just see a couple of trades happening for the bottom 3 teams here. But now coming back to the middle, speaking of the middle stage of the leaderboard here, we see Victim Rise constantly hammering Division X gaming here. And I'm not sure not to say they don't know about this, they're trying to deal with a third party here. They're currently fighting with Buriram as well. This is a 3-way contest here. And literally, the person in the middle, in the thick of things here, is going to be Division X. They had to quickly try to rotate back, and sadly, one of the members, he actually tried to get into the vehicle, but he actually gets tagged, and the second one will fall as well by Victor Rise, as Kamals will be able to go for the spray down, getting rid of Long K and IQ 500.
Oh, and there you go. IQ 500 have been taken down, and unfortunately, but then again, these teams, they are playing by the edge of the circle. They need to also climb the hill up. So at this point, whoever's holding on to Starboy definitely has an advantage there, because all these teams, they rotate in late, and this is what happens. Your left and right, you will bump into other teams. You want to get to the top? Yeah, sure. Why not beat other teams to the top? And here you go. The challenge is on. 1 more minute until the circle actually closes in.
Oh man, feels bad for our dear friend Hydro Gaming here, Simon here, because like he's literally dangling or hanging by the edge here, and the zone is pretty much not in his favor as well. Like the edge is literally gonna bypass it as well, so he will eventually have to run in, and that's gonna be a really great kill for Division X Gaming members. However, he can try to make a play and get for that double kills instead here, racking even more points for the team, or at least just try to cause some trouble for the middle stage teams here off the leaderboard.
And here we go, redeem it for your vote on Pick'em Challenger, ladies and gentlemen, and of course it is. Yes, I tried to do that.
No, more pronunciations. Oh man, loving it,
Well,
man. I'm so loving it.
French.
5-7 Barcelona. But sadly, as I was saying, I think I cursed our dear friend Gypsy Danger because with that voodoo talking, now I was able to block the car, and Gypsy Danger live goes with it as well. Oh man, really unfortunate. But anyway, the phase 4 circle is going to be shifting towards the south side here. Now even another massive rotation. A lot of rotations happening for a lot of these teams here, and not really working out for them at all. Why Kikamuka, however, was able to get a beautiful team here from literally picking one of the members from the future, by the way, FTF here. So that's gonna be really great for him. And the best part about it, he has his own personal motorcycle, so he should be able to rotate and really group up with the team as well. But just looking at this, Kerberos and BAE, very close to one another. Sophia, I don't think he heard the car, but he doesn't know whether how close Cerberus members is really close to him.
Man, I really like how FTF they named their team. It's like, oh, picking up members from the future, and everyone goes like, picking up members from the future. What? But then it gets Sophia here with the backstab there, managed to get a knockdown on the solo. Oh, solo Lizzie. Unfortunately, he definitely didn't expect that. That was a good backstab and good really sense of like, okay, someone's behind me, just turn around, take that shot and take them down. And he's actually playing outside of the zone.
I mean, that's what happens if you solo, right? Man,
yeah, gotcha.
Sorry, I'm being super lame right now. All right, but speaking of lame and everything, like we see LG Divine. Wow, just look at this. They are literally having. This is like Lord of the Rings right here. LG Divine has like the mountain area in their favor. They have the high ground. They can go for pickups as well. Magic Esports, however, currently right at the back of them as well. So they definitely have the high ground, but they have no way to divine LG Divine just yet.
Oh, but Mad Dog again coming in from another angle. Nan takes a couple of shots there. I believe those shots do connect, and now tossing up the utilities onto the front. Just a few extra cover on the left side, on the right side, you can actually peek out, and there you go. Managed to land those couple of shots there, but cannot finish up the job. He could probably finish it with that toss of the nade. Mad Dog's going to come in for another angle, and the nade first nade will not land. Second nade will not land as well, but then again, Mad Dog have been taken off. Oh my goodness! Warlock's actually taking off Mad Dog.
Oh man, that was actually really epic. Getting rid of Mad Dog, that was really big because I was a little bit concerned because Magic Esports actually lost Tong K, and Tong K literally the backbone of Magic Esports, and now coming back into the mix. MG Volas once again carrying the team as he not only picked on Mad Dogs, but he also shut down Volok, and that means our dear friend Angel Alliance from the Philippines will be eliminated from match number 2.
I guess it was a little bit poor from Matt because when he ran straight, he was in an open area, so it wasn't good for him. Oh man, he should have just tried to get the rotation instead of trying to run through and get those kills while actually putting himself in a difficult position in an open area. And now the next circle will still favor onto Fury. Fury, they have their high ground. No one's actually challenging them for the high ground at this point. Battle Arena Elites, they are played by the edge of the circle, and this next circle looks like it will still be Fury Elites.
Now this is looking very favorable for Fury. Literally for the first time, For the first time, they're actually getting the circle favorite here as with the circle shifts here. However, LG Divine, despite being surrounded by two other teams here, they're still able to catch up here and even picked up one kill from Victim Rise, and that's going to be Gen Force. They're still trying to go for the contest here, and they want to try to look for even more members. The last member is actually outside of the blue zone. He knows he can't go in because there's not really much cover here. He's just trying to bait things out. He's just trying to sustain long enough and waiting until LG Divine really leaves the area. That way he can slowly come back into the game, try to go for the kill. However, he managed to get the drop, but instantly he will fall here, and Victim Rise will be eliminated as the 10th team in this match number 2.
Now we're moving over to Talking. He's trying to secure the kill there, but then again, can he actually do it? I would say he should be able to do it though, but he needs to focus on the rotation as well. Yes, there's still time, 1 minute 40 seconds on the clock, and they are starting to make their moves, because if you make your move late to go against that would be having their position on the high ground. So consider moving a little bit early this time.
That means that for sure. Same goes for the rest of the team. However, BAE, like I said prior, like I said in match number 1, in Wrangle, you want to try to play for the edges here, especially from all these frag-centric teams here. They want to try to look for those kills. And now inside on Fury Hara finally finds LG Divine. And they have the high ground as well. They're welcoming this contest here. However, on the other side, they're LG Divine not just getting against Fury, but they're actually being contested from another side. But the grenade is just so beautiful coming in from Flood, and that's gonna be the end of LG Divine. But LG Divine managed to get at least 2 kills from the 2 kill scores here, so they should be able to bring something away with themselves falling here.
My goodness, Fury with the rain of the nade coming in with furious anger. My goodness,
Yeah, man,
that was really actually eliminated the entire LG Divine, and now Fury, they still have the high ground though, but then again, these other teams, they are trying to get onto the high ground. Fury, they just need to take it. This is what they have, the advantage of the high ground. Everyone needs to track back up, and they can farm kills from here onwards.
Oh man, however, not feeling a little bit bad for Purple Mood as well, because as they slowly go into, they're literally being pushed into the zone by the blue circle, so they don't really have much cover either here. And now this is going to allow Magic Esports to get free frags, and they spray down on Purple Moon as they're trying to rotate into the circle here. However, speaking of circle once again shifting towards the east side here, and Buri Ram, they're fully enjoying this opportunity they got for themselves here. And just like I said, they love to go for this total positioning here. Same goes for Fury, so they're going to be able to cover multiple areas, multiple grounds, a lot of information they're going to be able to gather from that position alone.
Yeah, absolutely great there. But finally, they don't have the comfort circle for Fury. They need to make a move. But I think they can still play by the edge of the circle. It's still partly having a little bit of the high ground there. So it's going to be still advantages for Fury, I believe. Better in the elites, on the other hand, they are playing by the edge of the circle. They can still farm kills here, because we can see that they actually is in a prime position. Nobody is nearby them in a certain perimeter. They have a good distance between other teams. They can just use the SLR, take those long range shots, and probably get those number of kills in the bag.
I mean, yes, definitely for sure here. And I honestly, like, just seeing Magic Esports coming back into this game here is really amazing. And the fact here, I think the most amazing thing of the fact that was just the fact that Varlox was able to bring back Tong K into the game. They really needed Tong K, and when Tong K got knocked down, I was a little bit concerned here. But Varlox stepped up, saved the team here, managed to even allow to buy a little bit more time for Emo, his teammate Emo, to revive Tong K. And now look at what Tong K's been doing. He's on a roll. He's sniping. He's tagging. He's literally applying so much pressure to a majority of this team. However, the blue zone is not in their favor. They're definitely going to be pushed away from the high ground, and they're going to be running to the clutches of BAE. Tong K going to be careful, he's going to be really quick as well, but they're going to be tagged. But Eddie, however, was able to find Joxy, knocked him down with a headshot as well. He's not going to be able to apply pressure to Magic Esports. This is the opening that Magic Esports was actually hoping for, and now they're trying to get into a better cover, a better situation. And Neferhor, he actually revealed his location and now gets tagged out and eliminated away by Buri Ram Eddie. And he is on a roll. He literally not just knocked down 2 members, but he knocked down 3. There goes Loki's. And Ronan from Fury was able to get a beautiful kill for himself on Sharper Esports members.
Oh my goodness, Fury now. Just look at their positioning there. From the long range shot, he just tap away. But oh, they're taking out on the other side now. Dika Mukau looks like he needs to get away from this blood. Looks like he's in trouble as well. Tonke now trying to find a good angle here, finish up the job, and now he will toss out the utilities and the next circle. Who will favor? This will be super important. If he moves away from the high ground, that is going to be super bloody on the high ground. But check this out, it goes down south. Still need to track into the circle, but Buriram, they still have the circle.
Oh man, especially with the 5th team here, or Magic Esports finally falling down. We are currently looking at our top 4 teams here in match number 2 here. Subang Cabares finally go for the backside here. Is to go for the kill here on Unicorn. Was able to get a beautiful kill. Go for the spray down, and that's going to be putting inside from Fury on a killing spree of 10 kills in a row. Unicorn, last man standing. Fury will Buriram, however, having not only the blessing of the zone, but they have the high ground, they have the covers, and now all they have to do is just go for trades and tags. And just looking at Fury, they don't really have that much utilities or smokes left to give a smoke trail or cover to literally allow them to get to a more better situation or position. And Buriram constantly hammering from all angles, from all sides here. And now Buriram just have to play the long game. Fury, 2 more members. Sorry, scratch that, make it 1, because 1 member has already been knocked down. And the only member that can actually try to back him up, which is out there for Ronan. He's surrounded from all sides. He's trying to go for the rest, but it's not going to be good enough. And Buriram calls us out. Match number 2 for day number 3 here with the winner chicken dinner.
And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Buriram, who we last saw, was at the 2nd place in the overall scoreboard. Managed to get that winner chicken dinner. They may not be able to catch up with the 1st place yet, but they definitely will close the gap, because we did see earlier in that round that LG Divine, they bowed out fairly early as well. So this is an opportunity to actually close the gap. Wow, man. But what can I say? The circle actually kind of favored towards Buriram. Buriram didn't really need to move much. Until the end, they just come on, hi guys, forget about us, we are around. So they just finish up the job, that's it.
I mean, that's just the beauty of the blessing of the circle. Just having that one lone advantage for yourself is just going to be able to put you in such a good position and such a good spot where you don't really need to worry about too much either. But also just looking at Buriram United Esports, right? The team from Thailand, literally, I'm not even kidding, they're carrying the weight of Thailand right now on their shoulders, because they are one of the top 3 teams that were favored to, that everyone is hoping and favored to see them win in this PC3 APAC. And like, they are a team that has been very consistent and stable during the previous charity showdown, PCS1 and 2, because literally, Sir Cloud, I'm not even kidding, their score in all 3 of these games was literally back-to-back 3rd place, 2nd place, and 3rd place. Very consistent with their firepower. In both matches, they have great strength in both Erangel and Marama. They are literally the epitome of consistency here. It's just that right now, they cannot be satisfied with being 2nd place here. They need to take the next step. They need to level up here to get that championship spot for themselves. And for them to do that, they need to get over such a huge hurdle, which is currently known as LG Divine.
Yes, and of course, the extra motivation for them to get that 1st place is the prize for 1st place 80,000 and 2nd place is 35,000. So there you go. That says it all, right? The money itself, it's more than double for them to actually, we want to go for the 1st place, because the gap is just so big.
I mean, it's the honor, man. Come on, it's not just the money, it's the grand honor here. And let's be honest, they've been fighting. They've been like, they never got that championship spot for 3 PCS in a row. They've been getting 2nd and 3rd place here. So, I mean, if they're fine with 2nd and 3rd place, then it feels like a big bummer for all the Thailand fans here. So I'm pretty sure they want to try to at least end this year with the bang and taking that championship spot here. And now just look at the match leaderboard here. They're gonna close this round with 10 kills on their belts. Like I said prior before this game as well, averagely a team needs to at least get an average score of 8 to 10 points in each game or in each match if you really want to try to get better scores. So Buriram getting 10 kills or 10 points, followed by getting the placement point for the winner chicken dinner. I think they're looking really great right now. And by the way, this is their second chicken dinner they won.
Oh yeah, this is the second chicken dinner they've won so far. And of course, here's the leaderboard. No surprises that LG Divine is still topping up the charts with 113 points, but 20-point gap now between them and Buriram United Esports. Buriram getting 93 points. Now, they are the ones pulling out the gap. Fury coming in third place with 79 points, also about a less than 20 points gap there. My math teacher is going to be unhappy with me. Battle Arena Elites at 4th place, 68 points. 5th place, Sharper Esports, 67 points. 6th place, Cerberus Esports, 66 points. 7th place, Magic Esports, 64 points. At 8th place, Victim Rise, really rising up to the occasion, 52 points.
Honestly, it's just really looking great for coming from majority team here, especially Buriram. Because before remember Circle, before the day even started, we saw LG Divine had a whopping lead of by at least 30 points here. And now Buriram slowly closing the gap here. But just look at the score difference, right? So despite LG Divine having 3 chicken dinners more than Buriram, the kill score is very similar. The total score not too far apart, and this just literally tells everyone or tells me and all our amazing viewers as well, and the fact of how consistent, how stable Buriram is on, regardless whether it's on Erangel or Miramar. They are still able to achieve the number of kills needed for each of these matches, regardless of one map. And now only LG Divine, yes, they're slowly stepping up to try to get that consistency, but it's still not as although yes, they got a lot of chicken dinners. I agree. But they're still not to me how I see it, they're still not as consistent compared to Buriram here for now. But look at
Well, we'll need to wait and see whether they're consistent or not in the following rounds, because we will be coming back to Miramar, whereby LG Divine has been known to be the kings of Miramar themselves. So we'll be taking a short break here, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll be coming back right after this.
สวัสดีครับผมตองเคนะครับอยู่ทีม Geek Esports นะครับมาจากประเทศไทยครับ
สวัสดีครับผมเบลมอสนะครับอยู่ทีม Dated Gaming ครับมาจากประเทศไทยครับ
PUBG ครับข้อ2ครับพี่สกา L อีก3ข้อมันเป็น D SR กับ D เขาเรียกว่าอะไรปืนระยะไกลหมดเลยครับพี่3ข้อ
มีเวกเตอร์มี UC แล้วก็มีทอมมี่กันครับ
UMP UZI ทอมมี่กันเวกเตอร์คอสโบแล้วก็ปืนพก1911P ครับแล้วก็ M24 ครับอยู่ในเขาเรียกว่าอะไรพี่สถานการณ์ครับตอนโดดล่มลงมาครับมันจะมีบางปืนที่โดดช้ากับโดดไวครับถ้าเราเลือกมันไม่สามารถเลือกได้แล้วพี่ว่าเราจะหยิบปืนที่โดดไวหรือโดดช้ามีผลต่อการแข่งกัน
ก็ผมว่ามันสำคัญครับ เพราะว่าเวลาแค่2 วิ 3 วิก็สามารถโดนคู่แบบศัตรูมายิงเราโดยที่เราแบบไม่ได้สู้ได้ครับจีครับเป็นมอเตอร์ไซค์กับรถดอมครับไม่ใช่ดาเซียไอรถมิราม่ามันเรียกรถอะไรวะใช่ครับมิราโดAKM ครับ
โอ้โห PUBG ครับ AUG
PUBG ครับเบอร์ลิวครับ
เสียง M4 ครับแพทเก่า
PUBG ครับสกาแอลครับPUBG ครับ PUBG เหมือนจะเป็นกระทะสีขาวน่าจะเป็น PCS1 ครับน่าจะ1คำถามอะไรแบบนี้แล้วก็พร้อมครับพร้อมที่จะลุย PCS3 นี้ครับก็ติดตามผมได้ที่ทวิตเบลมอดนะครับแล้วก็ฝากเชียร์ Dated Gaming ด้วยครับที่เพจ Dated Gaming ครับแล้วก็ฝากโหวตกันด้วยนะครับ Dated Gaming ในวันเสาร์นี้ครับ PCS3 ขอบคุณครับ
ก็ติดตามผมได้ที่ทวิตทีวีนะครับตองเคนะครับก็กดตามตัวครับแล้วก็ฝากติดตามทีม Magic Esports ด้วยครับที่แฟนเพจ Magic Esports ครับแล้วก็ฝากเชียร์ Magic Esports ในศึก PCS3 วันเสาร์วันอาทิตย์นี้ด้วยครับขอบคุณมากครับ
ก็พวกเราจะทำให้ดีที่สุดใน PCS3 APAC ครับ
มาเชียร์ตัวแทนทีมชาติไทยด้วยกันนะครับ
And I believe my buddy here has muted himself, but nevertheless, yep, we'll still give the honors, of course. Yeah, we'll still give the honors, of course, to YOLO Lee. Please take it away.
Man, that really put a stomp to thing because I had such a good intro. But anyway, let's gonna be doing another redo. So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another round of the PUBG Continental Series 3 for APAC. And of course, we just witnessed the first 2 matches for day number 3 here for this second weekend. Really amazing stuff here on the 2 maps of it, or not to say 2 maps, the 2 matches in Erangel here. So already seeing our finally Brewery Rom taking that winner chicken dinner for the second time in their last match. But anyway, let's prepare to get ourselves ready to go into the 3rd match of the day, which is going to be in Marama.
Yeah, but before that, let's remind ourselves as well that the damage top 5 right now, AD 696, Tonke 555. What a nice number there. Inside 519, Chibirit 486, and I always have a problem to pronounce this name.
Who?
Kikamukau?
Waikikamukau.
Waikikamukau, thank you.
Yes. I love the name. It's very unique. But yes, Waikika.
5 syllables, man.
It's that, yes, 5 syllables. But just speaking of why Kikamuka or Fury, however, like before we talk about Fury, just look at Magic Esports, right? Or in this case, Tonke. Yes, Magic Esports has been one of the teams in the middle part of the leaderboard here, but Tonke has been the one, the anchor. Like I said prior before any of this game as well. He's the anchor. He's the big man. He's carrying. He's not just his country, but his team as well, because he's the one that's doing. He's bringing out all the 3Ks, the 4K pickups. He's always, like, literally in day number 1, he got triple kills by himself in the same area with the least amount of covers. In day number 2, he literally wiped out an entire squad alone, literally delivering 4K to his team very casually, in the most casual manner, which was absolutely insane to me, because I'm just like, woo, Tonke. When, like, in the last game as well, when I saw Tonke being knocked down, I'm like, yo, this is pretty much it for Magic Esports here. But Valak really stepped up here. His teammate Valak stepped up, not only picking off Mad Dog from Angel Alliance, but even dropping the second member for Magic Alliance, instantly getting rid of the entire squad and allowing to bring up Tonke to deliver even more damage in the game.
Yeah, I totally agree with you that Tonke, he's the man right now. If I'm not mistaken as well, he showed up in the top killers as well earlier on the show today.
Yes.
So he's the guy that his team will need to take care of him like a baby. Like, if he gets knocked down, priority is to save this guy. Do whatever it takes to save this guy, because this guy will be a great investment to bring back the frags for you. But ladies and gentlemen, we will switch up the map here. We will be jumping into the dusty map of Miramar.
Oh, man, you just rolling those R's, man. Woo, feels so good. By the way, the flight pass coming in here for the third match of day number 3 here. It's gonna be the map of Miramar, and the flight path couldn't be any better for majority of this team here. Very ideal. A lot of this team is going to be able to go to the location and areas they want to go for. And of course, Miramar is an 8x8 kilometer map size. It literally has a total of 80.59% land area and a total of 18 towns. So a lot of land area, a lot of big areas for them to cover, and very different. Although yes, same map size to Erangel, but the playstyle is going to be a little bit more different here, where teams that like to play around the edge, like Buriram and Fury, they will not be able to play that as well inside on the map of Miramar, because Miramar is the kind of map which you really want to get to that center. You want to get into an area where you have a high elevation with cover. At least that way you can slowly go for pickoffs, because this is literally like a sniper's, or at least a rifle or DMR rifle matchup.
Correct. This is definitely one thing. Is of course the usage of the weaponry itself. Use the DMR, use the snipers, because this is a vast open area land. But okay, so the circle goes up. Not too bad of a circle, I would say, for now. We need to wait and see the later stages of the game. But one more thing about Miramar is also the knowledge of the geography of this map. Like, which areas are you able to climb up to the top? How long will it take? Is it worth it to go there? What sort of angles can you get from then onwards? So the knowledge itself of Miramar really is something. It's something else, I'd say. It will really test how much the players really understand this map and how will they take advantage of this geography.
I mean, yeah, definitely, for sure. And that's pretty much why you can see LG Divine right now. They always score A+ in their geography exam, because they are the king of Miramar. They literally have a 100% win rate on this map. And like, just looking, like, before the map actually closed, right? Before the map closed, guess what I saw? I saw LG Divine literally right in the center of the circle. So I'm just like, yeah, they definitely passed. They definitely score A, or that 4.0 CGPA for that geography test, you know?
Oh yeah, definitely. Now we're bringing out the geography teacher. They're gonna be so proud of the boys right now, man.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, LG Divine, now that they are playing in the middle of the circle, as you mentioned, oh my goodness, it's going to be like, if they, I really don't know. It's almost like they are the circle shaman or something. Like, it's like the circle favors them, and Miramar has been their map. So if that can be a start to them getting a chicken dinner here, crazy.
I mean, it's always been great for them, and also just want to remind everyone again, like, of course, first things first, thank you to our amazing viewers for joining us here, for all the shenanigans here and supporting your team from all of the respective countries. But I just want to remind everyone again that LG Divine was the Vietnam team in this case. They were actually considered a very inconsistent team based on their past achievement records from Charity Showdown, PCS1 and PCS2. In Charity Showdown, they were 8th place, PCS1 they were 11, and then finally in PCS2, they were the champions here. And just looking at the current score that LG Divine currently is having, they will not only be the first team to win 2 PCS, but they will also be defending champions and winning PCS3 2 times in a row. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy, right? My goodness, LG Divine now looks like they have the first blood here. They have taken out Tonke of all people. Oh my goodness! Unfortunately, as we are talking about Tonke, take care of it like a baby. Unfortunately, the baby will be sacrificed in this round.
I'm not sure what it was sacrificed. I think it's just the fact that this LG Divine, they were saying like, yo, you went into the wrong neighborhood, fool. And they just sprayed him down as he was just driving past by, man. Really, really unfortunate for them to lose Tonke. But however, MG, it's not the end for Magic Esports just yet. They still have 3 more members. They can still try to turn things around as long as they play with their surroundings. However, LG Divine just constantly being aggressive about this because they want total control. The first name coming from Duke simply puts down Imuma, and now they're trying to look for even more. They rush right into the mix here. They get the kill on Imuma. 2 members of Magic Esports out of the mix here. 1 more to go. Sulabai will fall here, and June is just on the roll. He actually dropped 1 member, goes for the cleanup, and instantly JN will put an end to Volok, meaning Magic Esports will be eliminated inside this match number 3.
Oh, veteran elite. They saw the commotion happening, but they are not going in for it. They could actually third party in onto LG Divine if they can get the right moment. But then again, from the future, just scouting it out, senses something. Okay, they are from the future though, so they are not going to make those big moves. They know that if they make those big moves, it's not going to be good for them. Veteran elite, they have their high ground, they have a compound. So far, it's perfect rotation for them. LG Divine, somebody stop these people.
But either way, speaking of stopping these people, this is your pick 'em up challenge for any of you who voted so far. We already saw who was the 3rd place yesterday, or last week. So this is going to be the 9th place. That's going to be day trade. Anyway, coming back into the game here, we see Angel Alliance going for a couple of pickoffs. They're holding down currently inside this compound, getting ready to rotate. And like, yes, I did mention that getting to the center is always great, like because it's especially in the map of Marama. But you really do not want to try to hang yourself down like into a certain buildings here, because there's not really much areas inside the buildings. Like we saw how detrimental it was for Magic Esports as LG Divine just hammered them so hard in this one lone building.
And talking about hammering, LG Divine with 50.3% of the pick 'em up challenge, but coming in not too far though, as their opponents as well. Unicorn Cyber Danang, interestingly, coming in at 2nd place.
Honestly, Unicorn was actually the number 1 for the pick-up challenge for last weekend. Actually, it was really crazy stuff.
Okay. Big fan base there, we can see. But then again, look at this Divine. Looks like he's tossing out the utilities onto the other side, and they're trying to go for the siege. Now here's going to be a 2v1 situation, and LG Divine taking over this compound. Valas can only look from afar, but he's still trying to take his... Oh, he tests his luck. He didn't need to go in for it, but then again, unfortunately, he'll be taken out.
I mean, like, Valak, like, really thanks so much for the production for that replay as well. We can exactly see what really went down. And now exactly I can tell like how did Valak die. I thought that Valak actually got gunned on, but it's just the fact that Valak totally understands and the fact that he's literally not near any cover. He's literally on the downside of that hill of that building as well. So he just understands that the fact that right, if there is a more better fight for me to take, it has to be in that building. But just so happened as he was approaching it, he got caught off first by June and got gunned down and unfortunately got eliminated entirely.
Yeah, probably should have done that place for a better rotation. But oh, check this out. IQ 500 showing why he's called IQ 500 now. Tossing out the nade just to finish him off. And he could probably secure that kill. Yeah, he secured that kill. There you go.
Oof, man, Monty trying to do his best to really back up for the team. Like literally having Team Ferox just having one man shot is definitely not a fun thing to realize. But also at the same time, if you guys notice Team Ferox, actually Team Ferox was actually, if you recognize them from another name that we all know, they were actually named Carnage back in PCS1. Although they didn't really show up in PCS2, but they managed to come back in PCS3 with the original name back in Charity Showdown, and they definitely want to try to make some noise. Although yes, it's definitely a team you really want to keep an eye on, Team Ferox, because they can actually try to do quite a lot of substantial damage. They may not be the top 3 teams or top 5 teams for the leaderboard, but they can still at least try to be a nuisance for some top 5 teams. And instantly, here it goes. Day trade instantly finds Unicorn. Go for the spray down. Beautiful spray control coming in from Day Trade Gaming.
Oh yes, beautiful spray control there. Immediately gets the knockdown, so he can definitely secure another kill for his team. And now, looking over at Battle Arena Elites, they have the high ground again. They have a compound. This for now, the prime position there. Just look at their aerial coverage, right? They can just look out onto everyone else. They can actually see, wow. From then onwards, they can actually pick kills if they want to. If they can land those shots with the SLR, why not? But oh, okay, I just said too early. Long K taking out low keys. But I don't think he can finish out low keys. But oh, what's happening here? Long K getting another knockdown to Juxi.
Oh man, Tong K may not be in the game, but Long K can at least try to make up with the various Ks that Tong K is supposed to be trying to get for his team here. But either way, beautiful pick off with the SLR. Finding, literally this is just hill battles, right? This is sniping battles, right? At least in this case, if Division X Long K is doing such a great job, although yes, he's not really getting kills, but he's forcing Battle Arena Elites to actually waste utilities, waste meds, waste boosters to try to really heal back up here. And the worst part, they're actually in a compound which doesn't really have that much resource either, so they have to be very conservative here. So using a couple of meds is actually very punishing for BAE right now on that hill.
Yeah, absolutely agree with that. It doesn't need to secure the kill, but if you can deplete their utilities, you have a little bit of an advantage towards the later stages of the game. So, yeah, but of course, some people may argue that, well, you get knocked down, but you're not securing the kills. What's the point of even using your ammo? Yeah, that's the trade-off there, right? So if you use your ammo wisely, you should get 2 knockdowns. It's a worthwhile trade-off, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, of course, it's definitely a well-played trade-offs for sure. But now I'm just a little bit concerned because right now Sharper Esports here a little bit alone here with this 2v4 against Victim Rise, and now we can see our Philippine teams here, Angel Alliance, the Double A's, currently rolling into this one side here to see if they not only try to get some utilities, but at least try to go for those pick-offs if they can.
Yeah, I think they try to go for this big offs. Well, but maybe they'll just hang on to it first because we can see that 45 more seconds on the clock until we will see the next circle being revealed to us after that. But check this out, Battle Arena Elite, still prime position, I would say. They just need to be careful from one angle, which we already knew where the shots came from. So other than that, if they just stay to the other side of the compound, then as long as they don't go to the behind, I think they'll be okay. They can overlook other teams and they can actually hopefully take some frags.
Ooh, and speaking of frags, we're seeing like all majority of the team taking pot shots at each other, and like now this is where literally Sir Cloud, this is where the game gets, because everyone is gambling on the fact that alright, maybe the circle is going to be quite central here, and it will be going to the very central west side of things here. And that's going to be benefiting a majority of this team. I'm looking at Hydra Gaming, BAE, and even Division X Gaming is currently in the center of things. LG Divine, as usual, they will always be in the circle. regardless. I have no idea how they're doing this, but they are making it happen. And Fury still at the very edge and very close to Guerrilla Gaming. I think they're going to be able to take a couple of kills on themselves. But look at LG Divine from the minimap itself, and the majority of the team, all the rotation coming in, and they're getting ready to breach BAE. However, BAE is just applying so much pressure and trying to hammer them down really hard. However, LG Divine was able to find Sharper Esports 6 stacks here, get a nice kill for himself, and possibly even try the reset here to get ready to regroup back with the team, because they totally understand the fact that BAE has already not only have the higher elevation here, but they also have the better cover compared to LG Divine members.
Yeah, LG Divine, look at this. They are still playing this very, very strongly. But Sophia, on the other hand, you can see for better, at least taking a couple of pot shots there. And now Rabbit is in trouble. Rabbit! They've been knocked down, unfortunately. Rabbit, the only one in this compound, he'll be taken out for sure.
Oh man, I mean, let's be honest, I think he literally came from the future, Sir Cloud, because he just literally ran up. He's like, I know where you are. I know where you hide. You can't outrun me. However, Purple Moon trying to go for a couple of pot shots. Man, he is really high. Yo, he is so high right now in such a really high elevated positioning. And of course, just looking from this angle as well. Like I recall there was this one area in Marama where I like to call it the Death Valley, right? Like all mountain range, just a road, no cover at all below the mountain at all. So if you're ever in a situation where you're on the road and the circle is right there, there's no way you're gonna survive that at all.
Interesting. Death Valley. Okay, so now I learned a new term for some of these spots here in Miramar. But I do agree with you, right? It can be a Death Valley. It can also be a Death Valley to actually those who got the high ground but don't have the circle.
Yeah.
Because if you need to move down, man, everyone will be waiting for you. Yeah, you thought you had the high ground, yeah? Now come down. All of the sharks are waiting for you. So there's always a pro and con for if you have the high ground or not sometimes.
Yeah, it's debatable in some situation. Although yes, at least 60% of the time, it's always the high ground is always arguably better. But in a situation where, like you said, if the circle is pushing you off the high ground, pushing down the cliff, then yes, whoever is positioned at the very base of the hill will have a clear shot at you and will definitely spray you down. And speaking of spraying down, we already see Buri Ram here, noticing the fact that he's getting shot from multiple angles, and now the circle once again, phase 4 circle, will be dictated on literally at the southern side of the central plane, and LG Divine and BAE still in a very decent spot.
Oh, and there you go. Looks like BAE, they are still in the middle of the circle and they can't find position. LG Divine, they are on the lower ground. This one looks like there's a detail happening there. But oh, managed to get away from that. I believe LG Divine should manage to get one knockdown for himself, and he will secure that one kill point for his team.
Oh man, that was so unfortunate as well. And what's even more unfortunate is the fact that Buri Ram has to get ready to not only fight against LG Divine, who's at the base of the mountain, but they also have to fight against BAE, who's currently at the north side, and now Hydra Gaming. He's actually going to try to breach Simon T. He's actually going to be breaching into the side here, into the clutches of Buri Ram. However, he has a small cover. Although 80 was able to get the drop on Tuan Robo, he will find Simon T. Gets the double kill, but BAE, a lot of noises has been made. The bait has been thrown, and now the sharks are getting ready to surround the area to go for their meal.
Oh, BAE, they could actually get those kills there. Kill steals, we call it, from that high ground. If they can get a good angle, yeah, the smoke being tossed out here, trying to save out Eddie, and Eddie may be revived just in time, but June looks like he's going to go for the high ground climb here. And now June, he is all alone though. His buddies are nowhere to be found. Is June the last man standing? No, June is not the last man standing though. Nevertheless, Dempsey with a counter fire onto himself, and now he will need to recover while waiting for the next circle to appear.
Oh man, Buri Ram not having a fun time at all, because not only is he contested from 2 teams, but here comes the third party, Rocky James from Purple Moon, forcing him to literally find cover. While him finding cover is literally, there's literally not many ditch or even a hole for our dear friend Buri Ram to really jump into mid as well. So Well, according to the skill score, he's still alive, so I don't really have to worry too much about it. And now we're looking at the current cam of Division X Gaming as IQ 500, trying to go for pot shots, and they trade. Oh no, the card flipped, but it flicked back to normal, so thank God for that.
My goodness, that was a close call there. Man, this is just going to be so easy here. Oh my goodness. There's still 14 teams alive, and this is the fourth circle, so expect a bloodbath here. And Angel Alliance, Mad Dog, looks like he has 3 of his buddies, 2 of his other buddies, 1 more of his buddies, sorry. He just switched seats there. And they're going to meet up with his other teammates. And there you go. They are having a compound for themselves as well.
Great. It's always great to at least have some form of cover as well, because there's not really like they're currently at an area on top of a mountain or a hill in this case where there's not really a ditch or a hole which they can really jump into it. So they have no choice but to make good use of the surrounding areas like the compounds or the houses here. But they also need to take great care, because as they are confined in such a small area, it just opens to a lot of contests, like example like this, all this tight corners and angle, that's going to be allowing Angel Alliance to go for the spray down, able to not only get the kill on Norris, but trying to get a drop on another player. And Mad Dog, what a man, and Joxy on the other hand was able to knock out another player, and that's going to be FTF Gypsy Danger.
Oh, BAE. Do they still have the high ground though? Or they do have the high ground, but do they still have the circle though? Yeah, I think they are just playing by the edge of the circle at this point. Yeah. So still okay for them, but we can see there's a lot of interest into their compound for some reason, just because they need to fight against BAE before they can get into the inner circle a little bit further. And now we're just looking over at Angel Alliance. Patrick here tosses out the utilities onto the other side. He's getting information back to his team that he knows that, okay, there's a team with a compound right in front of him at this point.
Oh man, by the way, speaking of Evil Patrick, he's gonna be a little careful as well, because he's making quite the amount of noise. Not too much though, but just enough for the fact that the rest of the team, or at least Team Phoenix, will know that the fact that, okay, we can try to clean up the scraps here that whatever that's been left here by either Division X or even by Angel Alliance. However, here comes the breeze, and Sharper Esports easily jump to the mix here. Beautiful nade coming in, it will be able to drop on leverage. They're trying to find more. Getting shoot as well with another nade. Tino is going an absolute base with his nades, constantly going back and forth. And now AMC, the last man standing here. LG Divine has 5 kills on their belt, but he wants to at least try to get at least placement points here. But that's a little bit hard here, because he is the 13th team and he only has 5 kills here. This is the first time we see the King of Marama being pushed towards the back of the wall here, having the short end of the sticks. However, Sharper Esports, they're not willing to take the risk to push out, and now slowly diverting to the other side. Now we see Fury constantly bombarding Cabrera's game here. Their one member is knocked down, and Sweet Soul, apparently he fell to his death. I wonder how that happened.
Oh, I wonder as well how that happened, and now the action is going to come in hard and fast here. Sophia looks like Sophia. He managed to get counter-fired, and did he manage to fire that? I guess so. No knockdowns yet that we can see on the kill feed here. But unfortunately, Sharper United will be eliminated at 13th place. And now Battle Arena Elite, they still have the high ground. They move him a little bit though. They are going to leave that compound here. But that prime position, it is still theirs at this point.
Really well played, the Sharper Esports, on eliminating the King of Marama. The King has been dethroned, Sir Cloud, and that's amazing. That's really great stuff. However, now the zone is going to be pushing Purple Mood right into the clutches, right into the jaw, the den of the lions of Battle Arena Elite as they go for the spray down. We find one, the Perhor finds one, finds two. He's trying to go for a little bit more kills in this case here. So Joxy, he finds one. He tried to go for the retaliate fire, but he gets knocked down instead. But Division X, they're going to go for the cleanup and steal all these kills, which Battle Arena Elite tried so hard to take for themselves.
Oh, but then again, BAE, no. Unfortunately, the circle. No!
No! This is not happening! Oh no, so unfortunate for Nafahor. He will fall here to not even Division X, he actually fell to Purple Mood here. He was so confident in the fact that he could at least get to the next house. And now Sophia, enraged, managed to knock out one right into the zone as well. Purple Moon, however, finds Loki's, get the kill, and now literally Sophia and Joxy, 2 members surviving of BAE here. They need to try to solidify this spot. They need to get control of this area once again. He fights on, go for the spray down, gets the kill. But Fury is on a furious drive on the other side and was able to instantly get rid of Cabarrus. Ori Rom will be eliminated away by Victor Rice.
And we can see, looks like the high ground is no longer valuable because the circle actually moves towards the southern side. And now there are only a couple of teams now right in the middle of the circle. Angel Alliance, Nan, now trying to go for the wrap around here. He's trying to see whether there's an opening on the lower ground. But then again, Mad Dog is going to put pressure onto their opponents right here, right in the middle of the circle, trying to find an opening into the circle. Angel Alliance need to find a way in. Cerberus, they will be out at 10th place.
10th place. Ooh, that's a really rough thing. But speaking of rough, that nade coming in from a long K was definitely rough for Bats from Unicorn as well. Definitely didn't really anticipate the nade at all. And long K still going on a roll as well as he gets a double kill on Twans. Angel Alliance, Mad Dog pushing forward towards his high ground. He knows that they do not really have the high elevation advantage here. But however, with all the nades and smoke that's being thrown, that's going to be forcing Team Pharaohs and the rest of the team of Victor Rice to fall back, and that's going to be allowing them to skill on top of that hill to go for pickoffs. And Long K finally get a beautiful kill for his health. While Kikamuka was able to steal 1 kill away from Angel Alliance, but Angel Alliance was willing to give that kill away because Algin Bots was saying teammates over scores first because they need as many members as possible for this very last circle.
Yeah, and now we can see the circle who will favor next, and we will be shown, but ooh, okay. So looks like the circle currently favors 2 teams here, and Angel Alliance, Aljin Boss trying to find a way into the circle. The circle actually keeps running away from Angel Alliance, but they are fighting their way into the circle. They still made it, all 4 of their team members. Angel Alliance, they are fighters in this round.
Oh man, they gotta fight really hard as well because, like I said, high elevation. You want to get to the center with high elevation and cover. And Fury having that full advantage right now, easily taking pot shots at Angel Alliance. But now, just looking at the circle, Fury has no choice. They have to siege. They have to get to that circle because this is currently phase 7. This blue zone is gonna hurt like a truck right now. But they also understand the fact that they can't really push because there's just too many teams. And they already know exactly which teams is exactly in which compound here. But Angel Alliance will be getting rid of Division X. And this is going to be our top 4 teams for this phase 7 circle.
Oh yeah, there will be the top 4 teams now. So who will get this winner chicken dinner, the first Mirama chicken dinner for today? And now Fury! Rona with a long range of Fury. They still maintain all 4 of their team members at this point, and they are in a good position as well. But a little bit more movement wouldn't hurt them if they can get into the middle of the circle or towards at least the quarter of the circle as well. And Sharper Esports, they are right smack in the middle. Lower ground, but at least they have a compound. They could survive the next circle.
I also love the fact that Sharper Esports is just is prioritizing more in reconnaissance compared to picking up kills or even tags right now because they just need to know exactly where this circle is going to be because they do not want to reveal exactly where they are. Although, yes, some of the teams is suspicious of where Sharper Esports currently is, but until the circle dictates where the circle is going to be, then only then will Sharper Esports really reveal themselves. Because remember, they're also 1 man short, and they're pretty much in the thick. They're pretty much surrounded by 3 teams here. So they do not want to try to take a fight, which is currently very disadvantage for them.
Ooh, and 2 teams still in the circle and also having compounds for themselves. And again, the team that needs to fight their way through. My goodness, our Filipinos. They are truly fighters and the circle keeps going away and away from them. They have the toughest job to actually survive this. For them to get top 4 right here and still maintaining 4 of their team members, it's an amazing feat.
Oh man, it's really difficult for them, especially since they pretty much ran out of all utilities for them to really get into the circle. And worst part, they're actually running down the hill into Victim Rise. So Victim Rise is going to be able to punish them really hard, especially it's not even 4 members, it's just 2. But here comes Fury, being fast, being furious, as they currently breach right into this compound. But they're not really going to try to pick up fight just yet. They want to take a couple of pot shots. They don't really have enough utilities either. However, Sharper Esports, they still have a couple of grenades in their arsenal, so they can still try to at least bombard and do a little bit of damage. However, Jibri picks on none, picks on one more member of Angel Alliance, and that's gonna be it. Angel Alliance instantly, one of the 4 teams that will be instantly removed, and only 3 teams will remain in this Phase 8 circle.
Oh, and there goes the miracle run from Angel Alliance. I have to give them hats off for them because the circle keep running away from them and they somehow can manage to survive up to the top 4. And now we're down to the top 3 teams here, ladies and gentlemen, whereby who can get this winner chicken dinner? Siva tossing out the utilities from the other side here. Sharper Esports, Tinoy need to fend off against their opponents that's actually coming in. Fury right in front, they're in the same compound. They're going to go for the siege down here, but they're waiting for the right moment to move in because they need to find out where are their opponents. And the tapping here coming in from Kamal from the high ground as well.
Oh man, they're gonna be really careful as well. Oh no, he ran out of ammo, so he has to quickly swap out the weapon. Brings out 1. However, Fury, Flood, Waikiki Kamukau is literally on a roll. However, Victim Rise come out, they get the drop on Roman. That's actually a pretty big drop as well. However, Inside was able to go for the trade-off. Now, we're looking at a 3-way matchup as each team trying to get their full advantage for themselves. But Fury will be instantly able to get rid of, will instantly get eliminated away, and Victim Rise will rise to the challenge and become the winner for this chicken dinner.
Victim Rise, ladies and gentlemen, getting that first chicken dinner of the PCS3. My goodness, representing Indonesia, by the way. Finally getting themselves their first chicken dinner. This will definitely shape up a little bit of how the overall leaderboards would be. LG Divine, I don't think they got top 5, so not too sure at what position they bowed out at, but it will be interesting to see how close the gap right now between LG Divine and also their second place Buriram is at now.
Honestly, like, just to answer your question, Sir Cloud, they actually fell out in the 13th team, so they didn't really even get the top 10 either. So really unfortunate for them, but very fortunate for the rest of the team here, especially Victim Rise here. Another one of the middle stages of the leaderboard teams here that is also another team that's ever improving here. They're forever growing. They're always improving themselves here. During PCS1, they were in 9th place. PCS2, they elevated themselves to 4th place. They got all the way to top 5 here. However, inside this current series, it's a very tough lobby. It was a really tough lobby for even like teams like BAE and Victim Rise to really try to get to that top 5 placing here, because there's just so many great teams here who have such great positioning, great personal skill play, and firepower as well to deal with. So the fact that they actually got the chicken dinner here must be a great feeling for them, and I believe it's going to be providing them so much motivation as they get to match number 12.
Oh yeah, definitely. Now looks like the Giants, they have been shaken. LG Divine, who we always talk about being the kings of Miramar, so consistent in it, and now unfortunately bowing out at 13th place. So man, everyone's going to look at this and say, hey, so LG Divine is no longer the Divine champions of Miramar. Anybody can take Miramar, and maybe, okay, so they won't take over the first place yet, but closing the gap, that's for sure. So I can't wait to see the leaderboards for now.
I mean, like, if we just do a quick math, right? So just Miramar alone, right? Just calculating Miramar alone, they pretty much currently, from 100% win rate on Miramar, they have an 83.33% now. So that's still a very high number to me. So I'm just like, they are still the king of Miramar for sure. Although yes, their streak has been broken here by our dear friend Sharper Esports. That must have been a really great feeling. But also, this is where we come back to what I was saying, right? So Miramar is the kind of map where you want to at least try to get into the center, right, with at least some high elevation ground, with some great cover. So at least that way you can go for pickoffs, or at least try to solidify your spot in the circle, or at least in the center of the circle. However, if you want to try, especially that's towards the late game, right? If in the very early stage of the game, which is what LG Divine was actually doing, was they were holding down in a compound as usual, the same strat which they have been doing for all the games very early, just holding down in a simple compound, which is very easily to be spotted out by multiple teams instead of the one or two teams which you're normally expecting to when you're slowly getting towards the later stage of the game.
Yes, absolutely agree. Well, high ground definitely wins in this scenario as well. And if it's a high ground plus a compound, it's the perfect combination. And here we go, the match leaderboard from the previous game. Just keeping my eyes on to LG Divine. Okay, 5 points from that previous round. Actually, not that bad because they got 5 kills. So they still managed, despite not having any placement points at all. So, but yeah, it's definitely going to still shorten the gap overall later on.
I mean, yeah, definitely for sure. And like, just it was a really, I feel really relief for Victim Rise here, like, or any of the teams currently that's in the middle stages of the leaderboard here. I'm not talking about the bottom 3. I'm talking about literally like position 6 all the way to the 13th place, or at least 12th place here, because it's a really tough lobby. Each of these teams are either returning teams or team favorite to be winning this PCS3 APAC. So, and the fact that I'm seeing some of the teams, especially BAE, stepping up, Victim Rise also stepping up, followed by Jaberis Esports, Magic Esports as well, followed by Division X and Angel Alliance. I can't even forget about them as well. Although like Angel Alliance, literally a team, the sole Philippine teams here, who was actually is not, although yes, this is their first entrance into the official PCS scene, right? But they were actually inside the PCS2 for the Philippine qualifier, and they got second place. They actually lost to their co-sister Archangel Predator. So this time they won, they got themselves in, and they brought up such a great performance in the first weekend. And here in the second weekend for day number 3, they're delivering even more. So seeing all these middle teams here on the leaderboard outperforming themselves, really stepping up after the first weekend, really great stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So like today, I guess there will be like, okay, it's not only like the top tier that has been performing and getting the chicken dinners. Today, it's a day of the rise of those in the middle of the leaderboards. And I hope to see those at the bottom, teams like Unicorn, teams like Ferox, just to rise up to the occasion and just get that winner chicken dinner. At least, again, like I said, do it for the fans, do it for the pride of, because these teams, they are coming into this, they are also waving their country flag as well, right? So it's going to be showing some pride that to see your flag being waved up at a international level tournament like PCS3.
Oh man, it's a really great honor for a majority of this team as well. Like, even for them to come back, I think the right word I really want to say and I really want to bring out is the fact that how consistent all the teams that we commonly know, all the returning teams from PCS1, Charity Showdown, and PCS2 coming back into PCS3 just tells me how great the consistency for each of these regions, right? They continue to come back. They continue to try to at least tell themselves, I want to get that championship spot. I'm not comfortable. I'm not happy with second or third place, or I'm not happy with just coming for PCS for like 1 or 2 or 3, just like for one time. No, I want to keep coming back. I want to keep showing that how consistent my country, my region, and how powerful they are. And inside here in PCS3, what a better way to end the year for all your PUBG action here in 2020 for the PCS3 APAC.
Absolutely. But, ladies and gentlemen, talking about ending, we are not done yet. We still have one more Miramar map to play after this, ladies and gentlemen. But nevertheless, we will take a short break and we'll be back right after this.
Ciao.
สวัสดีครับผมนายกฤษดามักมงคลนะครับผมชื่อเล่นบีนนะครับตอนนี้อยู่ทีมบุรีรัมย์ยูไนเต็ดอีสปอร์ตมาจากประเทศไทยครับ
สวัสดีครับชื่อนายชนะพงศ์ศรีไม้ครับผมชื่อเล่นชื่อปื้มครับมาจากทีมบุรีรัมย์ยูไนเต็ดอีสปอร์ตครับผมมาจากประเทศไทยครับพับจีครับไทยแลนด์เวียดนามฟิลิปปินส์มาเลเซียอินโดนีเซียครับผมแล้วก็โอชิเนียครับ
PUBG ข้อ2อะไรนะครับบันดุงPUBG ไปนาน
พับจีอาจินครับผมยังงั้นเอาข้อแรกเลยครับเลือก2ข้อเลย1-2ครับผมครับผม
PUBG ข้อ3กับข้อ4แล้วกันดูประหลาดดิ3กับ4อันนี้ตอบได้2อย่างใช่ไหมหรืออย่างเดียวชื่อมันแปลกประหลาดมันมีมันเคยได้ยินPUBG ตุ๊กตุ๊กกระบะเย้สวัสดีครับการแข่งขัน PUBG APAC ก็ใกล้จะเริ่มขึ้นแล้วก็อย่าลืมมาเชียร์แล้วเป็นกำลังใจให้พวกเราด้วยนะครับผมพวกเราทีมบุรีรัมย์ยูไนเต็ดอีสปอร์ตจะทำให้ดีที่สุดเพราะรอบนี้เป็นรายการสุดท้ายของปีแล้วนะครับก็พวกเราก็หวังว่าคงจะเป็นแชมป์ได้ในรายการนี้นะครับแล้วก็อย่าลืมมาเป็นกำลังใจให้เราด้วยนะครับในวันที่ใกล้ถึงตอนนี้นะครับส่วนใครที่อยากติดตามหรืออยากรู้จักผมสามารถเซิร์ชใน Facebook ได้ครับ Facebook Connexy หรือว่าเป็นช่องทาง YouTube คลิปคอนเทนต์ต่างๆนาคือ Connexy เหมือนกันนะครับแล้วก็ Instagram ของผมคือ Connexy นะครับและอย่าลืมมาเชียร์พวกเรา
วันแรกครับผมแล้วก็ฝากเป็นกำลังใจให้ทีมบุรีรัมย์ยูไนเต็ดอีสปอร์ตด้วยครับแล้วพวกเราจะทำอย่างเต็มที่ครับผมขอบคุณมากครับผมที่ PCS3 APAC
ครับ
สวัสดีครับผมตองเคนะครับอยู่ทีม Geek Esports นะครับมาจากประเทศไทยครับ
สวัสดีครับผมเบลมอสนะครับอยู่ทีมเดเทดเกมมิ่งครับมาจากประเทศไทยครับ
PUBG ครับข้อ2ครับพี่สกาแอล
So we are currently 11 matches down. Out of the 4 games today, 3 matches are down, and we are right now in the 4th match, the final match of today here for day number 3 here. Literally, if once this match ends, all 16 teams would have already played 12 games out of the 24 games set to be played throughout the duration of PC3 APAC. I'm Leonard, also known as Yoli. Joining me once again is going to be the one and only Sir Cloud.
And thank you so much for that intro. Amazing intro, I must say. And here we go. The damage top 5 players. None. 744. Maxona 668. Sophia 664. Flood 593. And Long K 490. Despite him bowing out fairly early, he's still in the charts.
Oh man, like it's really great to see like some of the team, especially like the teams that's like not that we all has been quite often been seeing like LG Divine or even like Fury or BAE slowly popping, or Buriram. Now we're seeing two new ones. We're seeing Angel Alliance, we're seeing Sharper Esports here slowly coming into the round here, and even Division XG here. I think that's absolutely amazing that some of the teams are really stepping up here and really try to fight back. Although yes, it will be a difficult ride for them to literally ride all or crawl all the way back to top 5 here of the teams on the leaderboard. But I can tell you this for sure, they will definitely try their best.
Yeah, they definitely tried their best, but man, the gap now is just so close. LG Divine, they'll be sweating here because it's already like what, 2 games that they kind of like didn't really perform, so they're sweating here to be
Yes.
like, okay, people are catching up with us. If by end of the day, either Fury or Buriram actually managed to take over that top spot, who knows? It could be a snowball effect, right? Like maybe the
Yeah.
next game, it could be just a snowball because we used to be up there and now we are down. It doesn't feel right. So it's going to
Yes.
be a tough thing for actually the coaches to actually bring the team up from there.
It's definitely very difficult as well, like, because, and to even add on to the difficulty for especially like LG Divine as well, is that the fact that just seeing they're not, like I said, I said this like 1,000 times, I think, or 100 times at least, the fact that LG Divine wasn't really consistent in some of the plays. However, today we saw them getting the chicken dinner or having some amazing plays on a wrangle. I thought they finally found the right path, the right balance of things to even things out here. However, in Marama, they sort of, I wouldn't say dropped the ball. They just, while using one of their strats, they ran into the clutches of Sharper Esports, who had the upper hand against them here. So, and just looking and compared to the other teams as well, like Buriram, Fury, and Sharper Esports, or even Angel Alliance, who has been very consistent, by the way, it's now paying off for them in the long run, because, like, yes, they may not get as many chicken dinners as LG Divine, but they're still able to maintain that quota of 8 to 10 points per game here. And just with one additional chicken dinner or an additional double-digit kill score, they're able to elevate and instantly catch up to LG Divine.
Yeah, and this is a similar flight path as we can see here. I believe it's a similar flight path to how we have seen in the previous round. So it's going to be quite balanced for most of these teams. They can get to their points wherever they want. But of course, what's going to be more important is that how is the circle going to treat them? Now, I'm a fan of crazy circles. So the circle can go way down. Or give me an Impala circle. I'll take an Impala circle. Or if you can go down to prison, which I have not been able to see yet, I'll take one of that.
I mean, we had one crazy circle back in Erangel, which was very the north side of Stalber and Severny. But I mean, although yes, it's not related to this map at all, but I'm just saying it's narrative to it, right? It's very similar. So I'm just saying, like, we saw one crazy circle, and now I'm also excited to see another one. But speaking of crazy circles, I wouldn't say a crazy circle, but it was a very advantageous circle for a majority of this team here, because right now they all dropped on top of Los Leones. And look, and the circle is currently on top of it at the southern east side here.
Yeah, it happened to be right on the flight path, so most of these teams will be okay there. But some of these teams, well, because it's the first circle and you have like more than 2 minutes to actually loot, so it's actually fine for you to like, okay, we can go a little bit further. Let's not take those early engagements because you don't want to bow out with no points. Go a little bit further. As long as you have vehicles, you have a gas can, you'll be okay. You can loot at other areas, and then you make that U-turn back into the circle after everyone else have kind of like maybe fight with each other a little bit. Then you can hear the gunfire, you can hear the commotion, you can maybe third party in. So you can actually do that as well. So nevertheless, you can drop further from the first circle. It's still okay. Even if you are like in the middle of the first circle, like what we saw, LG Divine, right smack in the middle of the circle, but it didn't help them. They still bow out at 13th place.
I mean, yeah, it was really difficult for them as well, like that kind of situation as well, because they didn't really have the most I wouldn't say okay. No, I'm using the wrong word. It shouldn't be a lucky situation. It just they didn't really have a situation where they could really like predict that kind of situation, or at least try to turn it back into their favor, because they were sort of like just like sandwiched between the majority of the teams, if I'm not mistaken. But either way, this is a new game, the last game to end the night as well. This is gonna be our dear friends, and currently we're just looking at Victim Rise. Once again, this is their stats here, and Victim Rise, one of the ever improving teams here inside our PCS3 here for APAC. They're growing really well, and I believe they really want to try to get this championship spot. But to do that, they need to get over such a big hurdle, like which is the top 5 teams currently.
Ooh, and look at this, Siva. Looks like it's going to be a one-on-one match. And Siva getting the first blood for himself there. And there you go, first blood for Siva. And now JN looks like he's going to come in and try to get that revenge for his buddy. But nope, he's all alone. So he decides, nope, we're not going to do that. Let's circle around and go to somewhere else.
It was really hard for JN as well, like, because he could have tried to push it and just do some scouting, but he actually fell back because of mainly of 2 reasons. One, he was actually alone, and at the same time there was also a chance of facing the majority of the teams there, 1v4, which was not the most ideal kind of situation he wants to be in. And second of all, he was actually pushing into the compound, and that's not ideal at all, because when you're pushing now, especially from a lower base to a higher elevation area, you don't really have any cover at all. So JN from LG Divine made the right call, the safe one especially, fell back, and sadly Name C will not be able to participate and support the team here, and he will only be able to support them from the sidelines here, and LG Divine will have 1 member short.
Yeah, LG Divine looks like it's not a good start for them again. And we talked about LG Divine, right? Like, is it a spiral right now that from today? Okay, so we just look at the stats. 2nd place in game number 1, 9th place in game number 2, 13th place in game number 3, game number 4. Well, I don't know, but looking at the stats, it's not a good start for them. Now playing with only 3 team members. My goodness, how are they going to come back for this? Hopefully, with 3 team members, they can get back into maybe the top 5 and at least give themselves that motivation. Yes, we are still in this. If not, they risk giving up the first spot in this round to maybe either Fury or Boriram.
No, you're totally right. You're absolutely right, Sakal, because like you can't really, especially like if this is normal rank or pubs, right? Then yes, you can try to play slow and go for pickups, but that doesn't work in such an international league such as PCS3 APAC, because everyone is looking for frags. Everyone is going to be super aggressive. So you need to if you really want to try to get that advantage for your team and yourself inside any of these matches, you need to be having a great start. Although yes, LG Divine has a couple, not to say a lot of setbacks, but the current setback of losing 1 member is quite punishing for them, but it is not the end of the world for them. They can still stick to their usual strats, their usual playstyle, and just slowly get into the circle, but just have to keep in mind that it's always going to be a 3v4.
Yeah, it's always going to be a 3v4. So even if you want to say, oh, I like that position, it has a compound, but there's a team inside there, it's not going to be a fair fight. It's still going to be a 3v4 situation. If it's a 4-man squad, you can still say that, okay, let's take a little bit of a risk because the position is just prime for us. We want it. It's goal. We'll try to take it down. But even 3v4 situation, you can't. You will just like, oh, I have to let go of that position. I'll try to look for something else that maybe isn't as good. So that's the disadvantage of playing with 3 team members early on in the game.
It's really definitely so difficult for them to do it as well. Like and the worst part, I hope it doesn't really pressure them mentally too much either, because like the fact that like not only the fact that they lost a member, but they didn't really have a great start on their best map in the last match, and now in this last match of the day, they already lost 1 member in the phase 1 circle. It's not phase 4 or phase 5. They lost him in the very earliest stage of the game here. So I hope it doesn't really hit them too hard mentally. as they slowly try to come back into the game and try to close this night with a bang in their favor. However, that's going to be very difficult because now the rest of the team, especially Fury, Buriram, who is currently very similar scores here with only a score difference of 1 point, quite close to LG Divine here. Although LG Divine will still have the highest ranking, not just for the total leaderboard, but also for the total ranking leaderboard for Marama itself.
Yeah, one thing about LG Divine is that despite not having good placement points, they can still get kills. So they are a team that they know how to frag, they know how to collect those kills as well. So that's going to be something that the other teams will need to overcome onto them. But now talking about Fury, they are here in the compound. So looking at the next circle as well, who will it favor? And I'm just waiting here, and the circle, well, it's still an early circle, nevertheless. There may be a lot of teams, but whoa, way down south, my goodness. Man, Castiscers.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're taking the road trip to Puerto Paraíso. Oh, this is gonna be a huge rotation. I'm not even kidding, Circle. A major rotation, especially for the team who's literally on the furthest northern side of the map right now of the circle here. Magic Esports, Purple Moon, they all gotta roll. Ballerina at least as well, although yes, they are safely in the circle, but they know full well this is Marama. They cannot play with the Aegis anymore. They need to get straight to the center, exactly what Purple Moon, Team Ferox currently is positioning in right now, followed by Shoppers Esports. These three teams are going to be having the fight of their lives for this high ground elevation.
Yeah, they're definitely going to fight for their lives here. My goodness, this is going to be, it's going to feel like how we saw in the second Irango game today, whereby everyone wants to go for the King of the Hill. Man, it's probably going to have the same feeling. But if only the circle scams everyone and just moves away from the hill, that will be hilarious for us as viewers, I must say. But just look at this as well. Oh, wow. Okay. Stylish, I must say. 10 points for that.
10 out of 10, man. We saw a grand theatrics from Victim Rise here as they slowly just casually drive by Battle Arena Elites, man. But now, he's giving quite a amount of information. However, getting tagged quite a lot, especially with Purple Moon. Finds the tag, gets the drop as well. He instantly fell down. There go two members instantly deleted away on the motorcycle here. Really unfortunate that the last member of Victim Rise, he's trying to back the two members, is trying to back up the teammates, but they were a little bit too far because the theatric coming from the motorcycle was a little bit too quick for both the buggy and the car here.
Oh, the positioning shot coming in. Match down 2. My goodness, that is a bon appetit, as I would say. And now here we go. These teams, they are trying to find their own compound. They're trying to find a high ground. Battle Arena Elites, as usual, they love their high ground compounds as well. As long as they still have the circle, that is what they will hold on to. Looking at Fury, interestingly, they are spreading themselves across these few buildings here. Quite far from each other. They just need to be careful. If one of them gets a knockdown, it's going to be super tough to actually help their buddy up.
I mean, definitely for sure. And like I believe I mentioned this as well in one of the prior matches before this, was the fact that Fury, Buriram, Sharp Esports, they love to go for this solo positioning. They like to not to say they like standing so far apart each other. I mean, maybe they're practicing social distancing, who knows, trying to help out the country in the game. But they like to go for this long-distance social positioning because they want to try to cover more ground, more area. And even if one of the members gets gunned on or at least gets pot shot at, they're at least able to cover or at least flank the opposing team, giving them at least some form of vantage point. But of course, we saw the downside for it, where, that was a little bit close there. Oh, that was a little bit close there, Circle. Oh, my lord. Is he gonna get it?
Man, is he gonna get it? Yes, he's stepping it away. Sophia, can he manage to get the knockdown? No! He did manage to finish up the job, so... Well, but I must say, the circle right now, 50% water. This is just yummy. It's going to be super exciting to see how are they going to play with only 50% of land here. All these teams must be cringing themselves right now. How are they going to overcome this?
I mean, that we were sure. And of course, speaking of water, I hope you, user cloud, and all of my amazing viewers, don't forget to drink water because we all gotta stay hydrated, stay healthy to really support and shout out to your favorite teams, country or region representative here.
Great, we know that was coming. I kind of miss your first version of having your plush toy everywhere. I hope it's still around.
Yeah, I still
Oh,
have it.
there you go. Let's pull it out. Let's pull it out, ladies and gentlemen. Pull it out for later, of course. But for now, we need to see this team trying to get their rotation into the zone. And the nades started to come out better in the elites. Now they do have the high ground. They don't have the circle though, but they are being sieged now by none other than LG Divine right in front of them.
Oh man, definitely not gonna be a fun ride for them, especially for them. But speaking of fun rides, Division X is able to be finding a couple of power stuff for themselves, not be able to connect or do a significant amount of damage. However, on the other side, Dame Train and Buri Ram is currently on a roll, and Victim Rise, the previous winner chicken dinner for Marama for match number 3, not having a fun time at all. However, Unicorn Data Blue was able to get the drop on Ronan, one of the key members of Fury, and a beautiful nade coming in from Gypsy Danger that's going to be forcing the 4-4 to be knocked down and forcing Battle Arena Elite's team members to literally make a choice to whether to leave the current ditch to resurrect or at least pick up their fallen ally.
Oh, yeah, Battle Arena Elites, unfortunately, they are losing member after member at this point. If you look at this, they only have 2 more team members left. So hopefully they can survive this, and they still need to make their rotation into the zone. And we're looking at LG Divine. All 4 of their team members managed to make their way into the zone, but then again, the terrain is just too open for them. The tapping here coming out from Nan, Angel, Eliza, survivors of the previous round. This time, at least, the zone is on their side.
Oh man, like it has to. It's like the gamble that each player has to do. Whoa, the Troll just flew off the cliff there. Ooh, this area is very similar to the Death Valley. However, Mad Dog is gonna be able to get a beautiful drop on Emo Ma. Almost trying to get the second one as well. The zone is still the phase 4 zone, blue zone, so it's not that painful just yet. And what a man! He also managed to. Nana was able to re-assist his team member, getting the drop on Valak. That's going to be allowing Mad Dog to push forward towards the truck, at least another form of cover, at least outside and away from the blue zone. And of course, this is the code for you, all you amazing viewers, to redeem, so you can vote for your favorite team for the Pick 'em Up Challenge.
I was hoping that you're trying to read the code.
Oh, I can do it right now. Mushi Wazify.
Whoa! Oh man, it sounds so good because it convincingly sounds like French.
I mean, come on, it's magnifico. But however, it's not so magnifico for our dear friend inside.
What?
The last man of Fury, burned alive by Gerberis Suba.
Okay, to be fair, even if he tried to move, he'll be gunned down. So it's either die by fire or die by gunshot. Pick your poison.
Yeah, it's really that kind of situation. I believe if he had an opportunity, he probably would have at least died to the zone. At least that way, he's not going to give like a kill point away to somebody. Just unfortunate, none of that condition was available for him. So he had to die one of the most excruciating death ever, and that's being burned alive.
Yeah, unfortunately, sad to say. And he didn't even move. He's like, okay, I'll just accept my fate as it is, and I'll be burned alive. He knows that. He already knows. He's like, I give up.
I mean, maybe he was hoping on the fact that, like, maybe they don't notice him. Maybe they don't know he's there in that crate, in that container. But anyway, coming back to the game, Angel Alliance inside the zone, face safety design. Whoa! Oh, I thought it was Agent Bath, but sadly no. It was actually his teammate Patrick who actually got the shot on the last member who actually was driving into the zone. So really cool stuff. Although I was about to compliment Elgin Bats, but hey, your teammate is still Eva Patrick, so you know, you congratulate to both of you.
Yeah, to both of them. Well, nevertheless, now we are looking at other teams from the future. Looks like he's going to get a bullet there. and he could be knocked down. But then again, at least he's in an area where he can be revived by his buddies there. Buriram, they are in the zone though, and now our survivors here, the Angels, they are making a very safe rotation from southern side into the zone, and it's clear for them. They can actually get a couple of shots here, but it's the lower ground. But it's fine as long as they can survive themselves onto maybe the next phase of the zone. They'll be okay. It's a worthwhile rotation for them.
And like speaking of worthwhile, from the future has to literally move away right now, rotate to a more better spot because they're currently in a predicament where they're surrounded by not just by Angel Alliance, but they're also getting hit by Buriram and also from Purple Mode from the backside of them as well. So if they're not really confident with their firepower, they just need to back off, especially since although yes they have the higher elevation, but who knows how much that will change because the circle is going to literally change in exactly 5 seconds. We are about to enter phase 5 here. Very curious to where this circle is going to end up, and this circle will dictate how the game is going to be like. And now it goes towards the very northern central here, benefiting Sharper Esports, LG Divine hands down, followed by Team Phoenix. FTF is also in the same spot, so they do not have to worry. Hydra Gaming is also still in contact with Buriram.
It's a nice circle, I would say, so far. But then again, our Angels looks like they cross the road. They know that the road is a big element here, but they may siege down a team here that's in the cows. And now Mad Dog's prepping up the nade here. And at the same time, not putting pressure onto those on the high ground. But this compound is actually not in the circle, so they need to really count their timing here. 5 more seconds on the clock until the circle actually is being closed down by the blue, and they'll need to make that decision fast and quick.
And now they're slowly pushing into the mix as well. And here comes Mad Dog, constantly just sniffing out, trying to find where the last member is. And he wants to go to the second floor, but it's really difficult with the ball being thrown down. However, he's going to be able to achieve a confidential prize as he was able to find someone else who was lurking outside, trying to find some cover for himself. He gets knocked down, but his teammate Nan will be able to back him up with the amount of smoke cover that's currently thrown all over the place.
Yeah, and we can see here that Nan looks like there's about a minute and 20 more seconds on the clock here until the zone actually fully closes in onto them. Man, they'll need to make that move quickly here, and now they're trying to siege down this building because they know if they don't take them out, they cannot make that move. And yes, there you go, Nan with that nice shot there from below the stairs, taking out 2 ones.
Really great pickup. We're gonna be saying goodbye to our dear friend Unicorn here. However, Buriram still on the roll here. Division X trying to hold on the line. But Hydra Gaming constantly go for the pickoffs, but Division X retaliates back. Buriram not too far behind either. They're trying to find a better cover, finding a better situation. But oh no, the nade bounced back. But definitely lucky enough, he didn't really cook the grenade long enough either, so he will be able to escape from the exploding radius of that nade. But talk about closer comfort, and whoa, that was a little too close there. Almost knocked down Simon T, but Simon T will be able to live to fight another day. But for how long, we shall see.
Oh man, that was just so close. 2 close nades, one on their own self and one more on the opponent, back to back. That is insane. But the tap here coming in from Long K. Man, this guy is just insane. And now the next zone, who will it favor? Will it still go on to the middle, or will it move to any other corner? And we will be shown the zone right now. And yes, it will move still into the center.
Yes, it's really great as well. And what's really not to say unlucky is just like mostly the right way is unfortunate for LG Divine, who actually got pincered by Day Trade and even Purple Mood as well. So they couldn't really able to get out of their current compound, and they literally got gunned down. The 2 remaining members for LG Divine will not be able to fight to live another day because this is the final matchup of the night here, and they will fall. But same goes for Victor Brad, the last member. However, Cabrera Subang on the roll, fight into the Lions, and they are trying to go for the retaliation back.
Oh, and here we go. We are now down to a couple of other teams here. 9 more teams here. We are now down to the top 9. 28 players more alive. Patrick, yeah, ooh, managed to escape that somehow. But Day Trade Gaming, Venotica knows that somebody is just right below them. They can take advantage of this. But nevertheless, just look at the intensity. Just look at the number of teams here outside the zone trying to find their way into the zone from the low ground to the high ground.
Oh man, actually trying to find every open opportunity they can, and Daytrade has been doing really great at doing that as well. Finally found the last man and instantly spray it down. Angel Alliance will be eliminated as the 9th team here. But now the matchup has changed from Angel Alliance versus Cabarrus. Now we're looking at Daytrade versus Cabarrus Esports. However, Cabarrus, they know they're not. He's literally one man down here. The 2 remaining members have to fall back, find a better cover, find a better vantage point here. But they're literally having their back against the wall. They're literally at the very base of this hill here. They have no vantage point at all. Majority of the teams that they had to push up against has the high ground, has so much advantage situation, and keeps doing Sharper Esports gets knocked down, but instantly gets traded back by Muting here. So that's gonna be a saving grace for his team here. However, from the future, Meepan is still alive. Cabarrus was able to go for a beautiful job on Vanotica here on this 1v2 trade.
Oh my goodness, this is a hell crime here. It does really look like our Erangel, second game Erangel here today. Solo Z looks like he'll be taken out by Norins, and unfortunately Niti unfortunately will be taken out by 6 Sack as well. My goodness, Team Ferox looks like they have been eliminated, unfortunately.
Honestly, it's really great to see like Sharper Esports really, like ever since from match number 2 as well, they really solidified themselves after last weekend. Like that 5 days break which they had in between before day number 3 here, they must have had a great amount of nights and time which they practiced, talk about strats, review the bots as well to see how else they can improve, because right now they're looking very solid. 3 members previously from the Golden Cat here now looking absolutely great in this game as they keep finding opportunities, positioning, and even time to take advantage of their opponents here. Buriram, however, is still playing around the issue because they know they can't really scale this cliff without any cover. It's literally like you can just see from their point of view as well, there's not really any cover for them at all. So if FPF choose to push against them, it might be difficult for them to really combat against.
And now we can see the hill climb here is still being done. Buriram, they is still on the lower ground. But no, that nade managed to evade that. But then again, the nade being tossed back out there. And Buriram ready have been knocked down. The flag kick there coming in. That is a beautiful flag there. And now, can he actually pick up his buddy or can he actually pull the clutch here? We need to wait and see. But at the same time, the zone is actually going to close here today. They're going to burn them alive. And no, they'll be knocked out as well.
Oh man, this is what we were talking about, like the vantage point in Marama. As long as you have the high ground, you always have the advantage. However, Konasi was saying like, hey, if 2 of my members is dying, I want to go for the trade. I at least want to take at least a couple of members of you guys down with me. He knocks down 2. Stanley gets knocked down instead. Immediately gets removed. And the last man standing on Buriram. 1 more still alive. Trying to find a situation for yourself. Daytrade gets eliminated. We know how that 1v1 really turned out between Division X and Daytrade. And Division X will survive, but the nades coming in from Sharper Esports will solidify the 4 final teams here in match number 4 here in this phase 7 circle.
Oh, beautiful nade there. Managed to take it out, but then God Meow. Little bit of help left, and God Meow is taken out. And Buriram will bow out at 14th place. And now we can see here that Long K is still alive here. 4 kills onto this name. He is at the lower ground. The top 3 teams left. And now who will get that winner chicken dinner in Mirama here? The second game of Mirama here today. No one is actually in the middle at this point. But one of these teams looks like DXJ. Looks like they need to go in. Division X Gaming, can they actually find their way into the circle safely?
Oh man, although yes, they have the man advantage as well, but like you said, they're a little bit, they're not really having the best of positioning as well. They don't have the vantage point, they don't have the high ground. They're literally at the base of this hill here. All they can do right now is just pray. They're not really pushing up just yet as well, because if you look from the minimap, how the map circle is placing and how much space there is left, they are waiting for they're hoping in fact that if they stay at this very edge, can this circle be in their favor? Can they gamble that this phase 8 circle shift will be forcing the remaining members who has the high ground to be pushed towards them? That way at least they can go for a spray down, they will have a fighting chance, and potentially they will win their first chicken dinner.
And you know what, Yololi, talking about fighting chance, all these three teams, they have yet to get their winner chicken dinner. So it will be a first winner chicken dinner for any of these teams. It will be a great beginning for them. Hopefully for the second half of the season, they can actually come up. And you can see here as well, Long K managed to secure that kill, and 5 kills for Long K already. Man, this guy, K, I know, that stands for killer at this point.
Long K from Division X Gaming. We also have Tom K from Magic Esports. Anyone with Ks are going to be picking up like a lot of kills here, a lot of points as well. 2 Ks, 3 Ks, 4 Ks. But in this case, Sharper Esports only has 3 more members, so Long K can only pick up 3 Ks for the team here. But that will be enough tribute to literally allow the team to win this winner chicken dinner. But the game's not over just yet, because Division at Fergus finds one, gets a couple of great tags as well. Currently we're phase 9 circle as well, so the circle is constantly going to be pushing them towards the very center. They have no choice but to not only scale up, but Sharper Esports, they have to scale down as well.
Oh, and you can see that Siva has been taken out by Fergus, and hopefully they have enough utilities here to actually toss it onto the other side. And now time is not on their side. 2 more minutes until the zone fully closes in, and they will be forced to meet up with each other. Some of them are going for the flank here at this point. And now Tino, look at this Tino with a tap, managed to get 2 knockdowns, and this could mean that they could win this round. But then again, look at this, they need to finish up the job first. If not, the clutch could come in.
Oh no, Sharper Esports only has 1 more member. They only have 1 more. Division X Gaming, they don't mind not pushing this just yet. They want to ensure this victory. They're gonna go for the final flank. Because they know the zone is currently pushing Sharper Esports. Now all they have to do is push forward, find the headshots, find the pickoffs. Sharper Esports, they're using all their wit, their skill, their positioning, and firepower. Power IQ 500 finds one, falls on another kill, and Division X Gaming from Vietnam will close the night with the winner chicken dinner.
Division X Gaming, first winner chicken dinner for themselves. Congratulations to Division X Gaming, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, what a great ending there that we saw. Elevation, we saw open era, we saw it down to the wire. My goodness, these teams, they are really strong here in this round. And again, it just shows that anyone can get themselves a chicken dinner. Division X right in the middle of the overall standings, getting their first chicken dinner. This will give their fans a lift, and who knows, they could actually pressure for the top spot as the second half of the season comes.
I mean, definitely for sure. Like, they are definitely are a team. Like, not just them. We're talking about other teams. Like Victim Rise, Battle Arena Elites, Kerberos Gaming. All these middle teams here in the middle of the leaderboard here, they are not just some returning teams. Like, they won their own respective region qualifiers. They are returning back to PCS3 here to literally tell people before the year ends that I'm the best team. And even if I can't get the top 5 here, they can still apply. They can cause some trouble. They can cause some mayhem for some of the top teams here. And that's exactly what they have been doing throughout this entire game here. They are applying pressure. Even Buri Ram here has some trouble while contesting between both Kerberos and even Division X Gaming. All these flanks, all this positioning that's happening towards all these middle stage of teams here for the leaderboard is really causing some trouble for them. So Division X, they have been a really great time for them. They were the champion during the charity showdown for the PCS. followed by the 6th place in PCS2. They weren't really around during PCS1, but now since they're returning back to PCS3, they're here to stay, or at least cause some mayhem for the top team here to tell them like, hey, if this year is not gonna end with my team or me winning for my country, at least I'm gonna make sure you're gonna have a tough time. But either way, for now, Division X Gaming, congratulations! What a way to end the night as being one of the middle teams in the leaderboard, getting your very first winner with a chicken dinner for the PC3 for the APAC.
Yep, and of course, LG Divine. I think they did okay this round. Wasn't great. They did kind of okay, and they have I think I last saw them. They still have a 20-point gap, so it's pretty okay for them. But then again, the gap has been shortened now after 4 games. When they started the day earlier today with 30-ish point gap, and now I believe it's a 20-ish point gap. We'll just get a confirmation right after this. But if that is the gap, that means it has been cut by 10 points. It's a sign to everyone else that they are vulnerable. And this is a confirmation here, ladies and gentlemen, that we can see, keeping my eyes onto LG Divine. 3 points only from the previous round. No place on points and 3 kills.
You know, honestly, this just reminds me back to LG Divine back in day number 1, where on Marama they got 6 points, but they got the chicken dinner. However, for Erangel they only got 6 points. So this is very shocking to me, especially for day number 3, because they were always known ever since after the last weekend. They were known as the King of Marama. However, today, day number 3, their Erangel plays was so phenomenal. I was shaking in my boots because I was thinking, has LG Divine finally found the middle ground they were looking for, the balance out, or to be consistent for the following days of the PCS3. However, after witnessing their 2 Marama games here, I'm really skeptical. I'm like, what happened? What's with the switch? But wow,
what's with the switch? Yep. What's with the switch is definitely a mystery now to all of us. But like you said, look at the total leaderboard. LG Divine, no surprises. They're still on top with 121 points, but trailing behind is Buriram United Esports, 101 points. Fury, actually not too far away, just 3 points difference with 98 points. Sharper Esports also breaking the 90-point mark with 91 points. Division X, wow, what a great show from Mirama. 88 points. Battle Arena Elites dropping a little bit at 6th place with 72 points. Victim Rise at 7th place, 70 points. And Cerberus Esports, 69 points at 8th place.
So far, everything has been looking really great. The top 3 teams are pretty much still the same here, especially even after the ending of day number 3 here for the leaderboard. The middle teams here for the leaderboard still roughly the same, although there were some improvement and some, I wouldn't say no improvements. I would say that the fact that each and one of the teams really got better here is just the fact that there are just teams which just really stepped up, like Victim Rise, BAE, Division X Gaming, each of them getting their respective chicken dinners today here, literally here on day number 3 here. They really stepped up. They say hey, you know what, Gaberis, if last weekend you can get a chicken dinner, so can we. They really stepped up, level up here, and now guess what? Although yes, Gaberis will be dropping his ranking a little bit low, 2 points, 2 rankings lower, but I don't think he doesn't really mind that much because the pressure is not really that strong for any of these middle teams. Of course, they really want to become the champions, but the pressure is not as crazy compared to the current top 3 teams right now.
And here we go. Damage top 5 players. Kim Siva, Fergus. Kim Siva with 597, Fergus 580, Long K 533, Nan 442, and IQ 440. Wow, the difference between Long K and Nan, that's quite a big difference, about 90-ish points there. So 1, 2, 3 close, 4, 5 a bit of a gap.
You know, I'm surprised you're actually surprised about that difference. I was very surprised, and also at the same time, I'm really happy to the fact that I see out of the top 5 damage just now prior to this, was that the fact that majority of it was actually Division X gaming members, like 3 of them out of the 4 members. So I'm really happy and surprised that all 3 actually got all the way up to top 5 here. So it's really cool.
Yeah, it's really cool as well. And this is also important here. The top 5 damage overall, I believe. This is Kim Siva still topping the charts, 1,702. Sophia 666 there at second place. And this is, of course, what really matters. The top 5 killers. Kim Siva, 11 kills. Fergus, 11 kills. Sophia 666 with 9 kills. Same goes with Long Cave and Flood, all sharing 9 kills as well. And this is where the points do matter. Damage output is one, but these guys, they know how to secure the kills.
I mean, just hearing from the names itself, right? Like, and also just watching from their performance from today, from all 4 matches, you can definitely tell there was a little bit difference in performance. There was a little bit more aggressiveness. There's a little bit more IQ positioning coming into the game here. They were saying like, hey, you know, if I could flank you here, I can flank you from the other side as well. If I could get a kill on you, I'll get the kill on you. Not just one, I'll try to get at least double, triples, or maybe just wipe out your entire squad. Each of this team here, definitely in this second weekend here, day number 3 of the PCS3 APAC, they all tell themselves, if we're not gonna step up today, we're never going to be able to step up ourselves. And by the time we want to do it, it's already too late. So now seeing all the middle teams in the middle of the leaderboard here trying to be more aggressive. And of course, not foolhardy aggressiveness, like just go in and die, that kind of thing, right? Just go in, be aggressive when needed here, picking up the crucial objective kills here for the teams here and getting those plays and points. Everyone is living up to their name and living up to what they're meant to be inside the series here, causing trouble, being a nuisance. And now even LG Divine, who was the king of Marama, got dethroned twice already by a middle stage team or even one of the bottom 3 teams here. So really great stuff coming from everyone for day number 3.
Absolutely. I mean, I'll be looking forward to see what happens to that top spot in at least the next few days of a game. So it will be very, very interesting to see, can they actually hold on to that top spot, ladies and gentlemen. But that will be a question for us to answer next time, because we actually reached the end of our show. Oh, okay. I know, right? So we reached the end of the show. I'd like to say thank you so much to our production team who has been working hard behind the scenes as well. Great job, everybody, for pulling off this show for us. I'd like to thank you, our viewers out there, for watching this. Without all of you watching, it wouldn't be our show in the first place. And of course, I'd like to thank my buddy here who has a 10 out of 10 score. Yolo Lee, thank you so much. It's our first time casting together, and it's a great pleasure as well.
I mean, it has been a long time coming as well. We've known each other for at least 1.5 years now. So finally get the cast together on a game that we both love, and also on such a grand stage like the PUBG Continental series for the 3 for APAC. And the best part, this is the series to close the year. So I'm saying I can't ask for a more better situation. And of course, before we all sign off, I want everyone to don't forget to drink water, because it's very important. Yeah. Man, either way, Sir Cloud, you want to close things out for us here, because I'm getting sentimental.
I'm getting sentimental, and I'm going to get some water as well, but thank you for the reminder. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. This has been a PUBG Continental Series 3 Asia Pacific, organized by PUBG Corporation, presented by Geek Events, and supported by KNK Revolution and Cause Effect. My name is Sir Cloud. My buddy here, Yolo Lee, will be signing off. Thank you for watching. See you guys. Bye.
Bye.